Very difficult to dance and drink my coffee. Whoa. Messing with the sound. I'm messing with the sound. Anquiitis, how are you? Look at you, first to the party. Now we got Medicine Fox. Medicine Fox. Little medicine to talk about today. Woo! That is loud. Let me turn this down a bit. Alright, I really like it. Who is this? This is this Nefex guy again. Or girl. Or person. Who is this person? I must find them. Alright. There you go. I gotta put their channel name in the... I'm gonna put their channel name in the tube here. In the chat. In the tube chat. Whatever they call it. Can I do that? Wants me to log in, and I can't be bothered. Can I? You know what? I'm going to do this. Good grief, 40 months. Thank you, Pac-Mom. 40 months. And you've got better things to be doing, Pac-Mom. You're, like, big and important now. You got, you know, not that you weren't before, but, you know, like, now you've got, like, serious world-changing stuff going on. Let me get into Twitch here. By going to here. I'm going to find this. I want to find this musician for you all, because I've really just got some really fun tracks. Here we go. Okay, it's going to try to play music again. Your account is being used in another location. Oh. Oh, I see. Okay, well, that's because I got too many computers. What do you want a guy with lots of computers to do? Use a lot of them. Okay, can I go in here? Let's go see the stream that's happening here. You're very good. Good evening, sir, to you, Jonathan MLH. There you go. That's this musician that I'm listening to on this. I've missed all of you. Life has been a bit crazy. I'm sure, Pac-Mom, you got any news for us? Anything you wanna fill us in on? Apparently a hype train's close. That's always a good sign. Tex-Mex Mix. Black Metal Werewolf. Awesome. Rock and roll. Miss Lintz. Anquiitis, of course. Paper Clips. I've already said hi to Ank. Medicine Fox. Mandy, 2462. Good evening, David. Hope you're doing good. I am. I'm in a very, very good mood. You know why? Because I have completed the colonoscopy. It is no longer hanging over my head. Or my bottom, I suppose. It is done. And I feel a million times better. Why does everyone need you to log in like... Oh, I know, Nixie Geek. It's like log in here, log in here. It's blah, 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 blah. It's blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Sorry, that's blah, blah, blah. You know that our local grocery store here is called Loblaws. Just nice little tidbits of things. Yes, I've been Pac-Mom has been published. Holy crap, that's amazing. My research will appear in the October edition of the Canadian Journal of Dental Hygiene. Everybody, rush out, make that the most published edition of the Canadian Journal of Dental Hygiene ever. I say, get over there. Well done, Pac-Mom. Like, seriously, well freaking done. You were... What was that? I hear noise upstairs. I hear yelling upstairs. That can only mean one thing. A teenager. Okay. Thank you very much for putting up the Gimpy G stuff. Oh my god. Pac-Mom, I'm so freaking happy for you. That is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. What is the article on, Pac-Mom? Is there something... Could you give us a quick rundown? A little sneak peek? You know, before all those dental folks get to it? Blah, blah, blah is what rewatching Atlantis. You as Rodney make the show for me. Hats off to you, sir. I won't take my hat off because my hair's a mess, but thank you. I, too, feel that the show really was made by me. Rewatching Atlantis. But how many times have you seen it? Blah, blah, blah. Pac-Bomb. Knowledge, attitude, willingness of oral health providers when treating transgender patients. Wow. Which, believe it or not, Pac-Bomb, since you and I spoke, probably, has become this weird issue in the States. Like, it's all of a sudden people have decided that the transgender is going to be wiped from the face of all laws, it seems. But anyways, so I surveyed dentists, mid-level providers, dental hygiene in the U.S. and Canada. Fantastic. It's actually a fascinating topic because there are obviously very specific, you know, like in any medical condition, you know, it very much depends on the individual patient and environment and you know, how they live their lives and all. So why on earth wouldn't there be, especially in a situation where you get such a marginalized community like trans patients, that of course there's going to be things you need to know about that. And you can't just sort of go like, you can't just assume everything's going to run the same way, whether you got a trans patient or a you know, an old man like me. Okay, what do we got? Nerd on the Rocks. Woohoo! Thank you for 10 floating little pyramids of cheer, I guess. Canadian providers had better attitudes, lower levels of stigma than U.S. providers, although there was a willingness overall. Oh, so you think most providers were trying to help at least? Or trying to be good about it. I guess I'm going to have to miss out more of this stream because I'm going to get my hair chopped off. Wormhole! You're Samsoning yourself? Was it Samson in July? Wasn't it Samson that got his hair cut and lost all of his power? Good luck, Wormhole. My wife keeps making very subtle hints like, can you shave your head to me? So I feel that maybe. Miss Lintz has had a few colonoscopies myself. That prep stuff is vile. This is the thing, Miss Lintz. Yes, it absolutely is. And I'm sure this is not a topic that many people want to talk about. My father is probably rolling over in the grave he doesn't have yet because he's still alive when I speak of this. But the reality is, yeah, it's vile. I mean, it's you know, I've had 2 of them now, and it doesn't get any better. The reality is the night before your colonoscopy is just a miserable experience. But you know what? It's a lot less miserable than colorectal cancer. So I kind of wanted to mention it because not particularly because I wanted to talk about my tortuous colon, as the doctor puts it, but because just because I thought it was important. I didn't realize just how crazy the stats were, and I've just been working on my email of awesomeness, which will be out later today, and will probably relate to a lot of the stuff we talk about today. But you know, I just thought it was important that people know that it's just a simple thing to do. Honestly, as procedures go, I've had worse dental stuff. Honestly, no offense, Back Mom, but you know, I've had more horrendously horrible experiences in the dental chair than this. You know, you're out for the whole thing. Although I did wake up. They said I might wake up. I woke up and they were like, I could feel the scope like right here or around here somewhere. And you could see on the screen just how torturous my colon was. It was beautifully clean though, because I did a fantastic job. I just want to say that. Catatonia is now following. Thank goodness. Drinking the mix for colonoscopies prep is horrible. It really is. It's like 4 liters. I don't know, what is that, like a gallon of basically just laxative. It's just crazy stuff. But part of the fun is running up and downstairs and letting Baz know how far along I am with this stuff. Because he doesn't care. He doesn't want to know. And it's really fun to tease him with it. So I heard people pay extra for that. Really? Interesting. Drinking it, yes. But that said, what a great way to make sure you stand a chance. What do they say? Every polyp removed is a 53% improvement in your chances against. I'm making up stats now, but there was something about 53%. If you remove a polyp, it takes away a 53% chance of some form of cancer, I think. So, anyways, point being is it's a great way to save yourself for later. Not the most pleasant way to spend the day. I also got an endoscopy at the same time, which is just lovely. They went up and down. And so I got some stuff to find out about that. But other than that, it's looking good. Yeah, look at, I mean, it's fine. As I say, it just was not too bad. Have fun, Wormhole. Enjoy your haircut. What are you going to go short back inside? Something real short? I did like watching the screen. Yeah, there's something well, they didn't do, they said that you always have that not offer, but in the States they used to offer if you wanted to do the Twilight one where they're like, you're sort of awake, but you're not really awake and you don't feel any pain. And I was like, I don't want to know I'm here. I don't want to know anything about what you're doing. Nothing. So, but here they just knock you out. Here it's just like, bang. Just like, count to, and I'm out. Like, I'm just like, my incredible, giant ogre-like strength and abilities means I'm out like a light the moment they mentioned they're going to put me out. But it was fun. I did wake up, as I say. I woke up halfway. maybe halfway. Actually, it seemed like probably further than halfway, but by the feel of it. Wasn't really in pain, just kind of uncomfortable. But I was immediately, of course, being the nerd I am, entranced by this giant, 8K screen with all the little curves and stuff going on. It's just, I mean, Jesus, what they could do is amazing. I just felt like, couldn't I just take a big horse pill that has like a little camera in it? And I just swallow that, and then over the next few days, it works its way down, taking photos and video and sending home postcards, that kind of stuff. I just feel like we got to be, this whole scoping thing seems a bit intrusive, should we say. I'm sure it will become, when my grandchildren's grandchildren will be saying like, you what? You willingly what? In order to check this stuff. So I'm sure we'll just take a pill eventually. These things will just go down and Wi-Fi out stats on what's going on. There is a pill camera, Paperclips? I mean, I heard that they were talking about it. Yes, Nixie Geek. It was a glutinous maximus experience. I did not know that they were actually using the pill cam. I thought they were only in sort of like research phase. I didn't know they could actually use them. The newest blood tests are very effective in detecting colon cancer now. Yeah, well, that's the funny thing, Paperclips. So that's why I keep having to get them, is because my tests keep coming back Abby normal. So they keep wanting to get up there. Howdy, Wayne, 2001 from Texas. Is it Texas? I feel very sorry for you that this is your first time chat because, you've arrived to hear me talking about a colonoscopy. Isn't it wonderful? Aren't you glad you joined us? Well, come on in. It'll be great. Just don't drink the laxative. Yep, Texas. I thought that might be the case. Texas, I tell you, I've been to Texas, Austin. Austin is awesome. Love Austin. I've got my biotech friends there. I've got my friend, what am I saying? God, I've forgotten his name now. This is what happens after colonoscopies. You forget things, it seems. Aaron? Oh, Jesus, what am I saying? Now I'm completely screwed up the names. Anyways, I'll figure it out later. Anyways, I've got friends out there, and I really enjoyed that city, I got to say. Really enjoyed it. Apsule cameras are the more comfortable way of performing colonoscopy. Medicine Fox, here's the thing, though. I think you'll find in Canada, we tend to be a little bit behind on these things. Oh, God, pardon the pun. Because we just don't have the money. You know what I mean? It just, But I love this. So, huge pill. Had a camera that flashed every 5 seconds. Took a picture. I had to wear a bum bag that had the recording equipment in it. Oh, wait a sec. So you mean like around your... Oh, God, that sounded horrible. Took about 8 hours. Then I got to look at the pictures afterwards. Great fun. That's wild. See, that's kind of what I'm talking about. Let's do that. Greetings from Alaska. Oh, I always wanted to go to Alaska. Definitely interesting conversation. Isn't it just? Aren't you glad you joined us? Snorlax is not a laxative. Don't drink me. Exactly. All right. I should bring in my nerds. I should get my Discord up and running here. Oops. Can't leave Kimpy G waiting. What am I doing here? I've got so many rants. Ooh, some light reading. What's this? Python. Nice. Okay. All right. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to go to the TechBandits live stream in case Lance wants to join us. Yeah, a bunch of stuff. I've been, as you probably know, I do a lot of playing with Midjourney. I just love what that thing's allowed me to do. It's extraordinary to me. It's like truly like a life-changing technology for me because I'm a frustrated artist. I'm always bemoaning the fact that I just wish I had the abilities to sit down and, paint on a canvas or something like that. And I would still love that. Just because I love the idea of being able to create something from beginning to end. Like there's no, with acting, you've got to get an audition. You got to get the role. You got to do the part. You got to get directed and edited and voiced over and all sorts of stuff. You are just a tiny part of the whole process in something like that. But as a painter or as an artist or a sculptor or something, the idea that you could actually from nothing create art and it's all yours. There's no editing. There's no one there to say this should be this and that should be that. There's just this, it just seems like a purer art form, if that makes sense. I mean, even musicians, there's only so much I suppose musicians, you can write your own songs and do them all yourself, I guess. But even then, I feel like there's producing required and all sorts of stuff. Whereas the art, it just feels something kind of, I don't know. Anyway, so one day, that'll be me sitting in a barn somewhere with with my pig called Tractor beside me, painting pictures of tractors. All right. Fanny packs. Yes. We don't use that word in the UK in polite conversation. Yes, of course. Exactly. Yes. I call it manly purse. That's what I call it. If the camera pill goes through quickly, it's still flashing the camera as it goes into the toilet pan. Wow. I collected my camera pill wearing rubber gloves, very smart, and still have it in a box. Well, you get to keep it? You get to keep the camera pill? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, pink tractor. That's what I want. Pink tractor and a pig called Tractor. That's what I want. Is that so much to ask for, Pac-Mom? Okay, so Midjourney. So Midjourney, I've been really struggling with it recently because I love the technology. I create all of my images with it. It allows me to, spontaneously create things for social media or for emails of awesomeness, which I'm working on right now. And if you haven't signed up, please do. TechBandits.org. Please go and sign up. I'd love to build this little newsletter empire because it's just such a nicer place than some of the social media places that I have to use right now. Anyways, someone just what are those noises? There are noises happening, people. Squirtle, it's my amazing ability to focus. What do we got? What did I miss? Oh, a 95. Oh my God, Snorlax is not a laxative. Has thrown 95 cheery little pyramids at me for a clean shoot. Hey, is the Squirrel Cam still working? There is a Squirrel Cam. Is it still plugged in? Yeah, it is. Why don't I have a Squirrel Cam? Oh, I know why. Because my poor wife goes out to work in the backyard, and I suddenly got like shots of her struggling to pull things out of the garden or wrangle things. Okay, what have I got here? Let me see if I can pull up the other camera here. What do we got here? ATM Logitech, maybe? There you go. It's the Stargate Squirtle Cam right there. What is that in the corner? That's a shot of my snow shovel. Shall I move it or should I just leave it? Just as a reminder, the winter is coming. There we go. Did you see former Cube star Nikki Gadani was on the latest episode of Star Trek? Aw, would love to see you on Star Trek. I would love to see me on Star Trek too. Nikki Gadani was? No, Nicole DeBoer. It's got to be Nicole DeBoer, isn't it? I don't think Nikki Gadani's with us anymore. I thought she died. Am I wrong? I should know this. I'm going to look her up right now. Nikki Gadani. There we go. Nikki Gadani. Oh, no, she is. Oh my God. I feel so bad saying that. I thought someone. Oh, no, it wasn't Nikki. It wasn't Nikki. I'm so sorry. Is it? No, Nikki Gadani is. Oh my God. I feel awful. Isn't that terrible? One of my co-stars, and I thought she passed away. No, she hasn't. Man. Okay, no, so Nikki, I did not know that. So Nikki is on Star Trek? Because I know Nicole DeBoer was on Star Trek years ago. What do we got? I love the kind of... Black Mirror is currently. Oh man, yeah. No, we should talk about. I want to talk to Lance at some point about the Black Mirror episode. There's one particular that I'm curious to talk to him about. Nicole, yes, sorry, Ank. Yeah, thanks, Ank. It is Nicole DeBoer then. Nicole DeBoer played Dax, and I'm not surprised she's back. She's fabulous, absolutely fabulous actress, and so is Nikki. But for that matter, I feel terrible. I realize it was another actor who actually who died on Cube. For some reason I was thinking Nikki. God, I'm so confused. Maybe I'll be next. Obviously, I'm old. I'm having colonoscopy, so I've got to be pretty old. Nikki is fantastic. God, we loved Nikki. Actually, we loved both Nikkis for that matter. By one of my best friends, well, obviously Vincenzo wrote and directed it with Andre. And Andre Bajelic, another genius friend of mine, but my acting friend, now a writer, Andrew Miller, and I used to we loved the Nickies. We loved the Nickies. Yeah, fantastic. Okay, all right. So look at this. I'm getting the news. It was Wayne Robson, actually. It was Wayne Robson who died from Cube. He played the Wren. Anyways, okay. So Nicole played yes. Oh yeah, is there really no union for artists? There's unions. Well, there's unions for all sorts of that. I mean, I'm sure there must be some kind of there's probably some kind of artists guilds or something like that. But I don't know that there's actually an official union for those kind of things. Anyways, Midjourney. So Midjourney, I'm using it to create lots of images. When I first started, it was open season. You could do whatever you wanted with that sucker. It was amazing. Thank you, Mr. Poole. What I found was there were a couple of things you couldn't ask for. I found it got weird if you mentioned, chest or bare chest. Like I wanted to have like a warrior with a bare-chested warrior with a. Yeah, I didn't like that. I think at some point I got poetic and talked about like a naked ambition or something. And they're like, "Oh, naked," So they're obviously worried about people, creating porn or something. I don't know, or something that someone might be offended by. I mean, nudity. There's a big difference between nudity and pornography, and a big difference between, reasonable pornography and exploitive stuff, I'm sure. But anyways, so they, in an abundance of caution, decided that they were going to sort of tap down on these or clamp down on certain words. The problem is they don't let you know what the words are. And the more I use Midjourney, especially recently, the more I am bumping up against the words, and I'm finding it incredibly restrictive. I suppose, I suppose some people might refer to it as sort of like it's woke or something. We're worried about we're trying to make our AI woke. And I, in a way, I wish that was the case. I think what we're trying to do is make our companies safe from legal action. I think it's the problem. I think these companies are very, very worried that something's going to get spit out by Midjourney with lots of prompting from some evil-minded troll, and then they're then going to somehow be held accountable for this stuff. So that's going to be a big part of it, I'm sure. But it's getting incredibly frustrating. And I was on Reddit the other day. God, I love Reddit. I do love Reddit. There's something about it. It just doesn't feel like I know it's social media. I know I've been sort of keeping myself off social media recently, and so I should really be including Reddit in that. But the reality is, I just love the community aspect of it. Anyways, point being is there's a whole Midjourney thread there, a whole Midjourney subreddit, and a lot of complaints about this. What are the banned words? Why don't we know what the banned words are? Why is it so? It's always in flux. It feels like you never know what's going to work and what's not. And there was one story in there that I was just working on for my email of awesomeness, but which is kind of interesting, which relates to disabilities, and like one of or two of the words that are banned are Down syndrome. So there was a mom who was trying to do Down syndrome superheroes for his or her their kid, and it was like, nope, banned word. And I thought, no. Well, I went on to Midjourney and tried to create a superhero with Down syndrome, and it's a banned word. It won't let me use it. So of course I immediately got to work trying to create hundreds of other superheroes with disabilities, before they clamp down on that too. I mean, I guess, and again, they're trying to protect people, but at what point does that protection turn into the absolute opposite effect, where now I feel like that it almost sort of negates the existence of people with Down syndrome? I mean, I feel like that's well-meaning, but I think very worrying sort of approach to this stuff. And Lance and I are always joking about Google in their presentation when they were leading up to the presentation with Game Face that Lance was so sort of intimately involved in. They kept talking about how they were being adventurous but responsible. They kept sort of mentioning responsible, because everyone is terrified, I think, that they're going to have some kind of regulation on them that's gonna hamper them in making tons of money. So, or just in general hamper the creation of the technology. I don't think people are trying to be evil. I think evil just is. There's a banality to evil, right? There's a banality to censor this, censor that, all for the right reasons, and then what is it? The road to hell is paved with good intentions, and I worry. You don't exclude people because you're worried that people are going to make fun of them or be idiots about it? And also, who's to decide what's right and what's wrong? And I've always said I was a bleeding heart conservative up until that Trump guy showed up, and then I became staunchly anti, whoever supports that. I shouldn't say that. I understand everyone's got different perspectives on this stuff, and I realized that I very quickly got sucked up in the whole, sort of hatred of that man. I mean, I don't think he's a good man. I think he's a terrible man. I think he's a terrible man for our country. But I understand that there are reasons why people have voted for him. I don't understand. I understand why people feel the need to. I don't think it's the right solution to the problems in the world. But anyways, I'm just trying to be a little more open to that stuff, because one of the things I was talking about in this week's Email of Awesomeness is like, we got to figure this out. We got to stop politicizing everything, because we're not going to get anywhere. And if we don't get anywhere, it's just going to get worse. Things are just going to get worse. So I sort of felt like I got to figure that out myself, because I just, I freaking hate that guy. I just hate him. And I hate everything he stands for, and the way he works and the way he operates. And I just couldn't understand why anybody in their right mind would vote for this orange idiot. So I felt, but now I'm realizing that there are reasons. I mean, people have different perspectives, and I have a very specific, background. I have a very specific life, and I have a very specific little bubble, a little snowflakey woke bubble that is the film and TV industry. And I say that sort of lovingly, because I do want to be someone who, weirdly, I always wanted to be the evil guy. I used to say, like, it's not enough to succeed, others must fail. And now I'm like, I've got all sort of crunchy granola and stuff, and I'm like, no, I just want us to figure this out. Like, I feel like we got such a great shot at things, whether it's technology or space travel or any of these sort of things. Government, politics. I just feel like we're smart enough to figure this stuff out, and I feel like we're being torn apart by so many different things right now, including people like me who just sort of openly, immediately condemn people for one belief with the justification of thinking that means that they're against everything I stand for. So I'm trying to be a little bit more. Does that make me even more woke? Oh God, it probably does. When did woke become a bad word? Doesn't woke mean just like caring for other people? I'm not sure when that happened either. But anyways, feels like the most common sense approach, to be honest. Too many people just screaming at each other without listening. Yes. Dr. McKay, evil version, the next Stargate. I wish, Bot Bruiser, that's what I missed the most. When people ask me what episode of Stargate did they never do that they should have, Evil McKay. Imagine if Rod showed up and he was evil. I actually had AI write a little version of it, which was really fun, I've got to say. I should read that one day. Crazy Nut DK here. Hey there, figure it out. Yeah, figure it out. I know. Figure it out. How do we figure it out? We got to figure it out. I think so. It's not a bad word. Just means you're intelligent in mind and heart. James Gurney, McKay was evil all along. Well, James, I think you may find a few people arguing with that. Dr. Professor James R. Gurney, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage. Alt Reality Millionaire McKay was good. There was a lot of fun. Like, look, as soon as they came up with that whole alternate reality thing and ran with it, damn the science. It's just been so much fun. So I just wish there was that there'd been an evil McKay episode, like a purely evil. What do we got? Pac Mom is saying sorry to somebody. What? It looks like it imploded. What's that? What imploded? What's imploded? What's going on? What's going on? Am I missing something? Did you guys hear they found what's left of the mini sub near the Titanic? Oh, God. The knocking sounds are probably the sub imploding. Yeah. Ugh. Oy. Yeah, that sucks. I can't imagine a more horrible way to go. Let's hope it was sudden and that it was, ugh, that's terrible. I suppose there'll be calls to regulate that stuff as well. There was some discussion about the safety procedures preceding these dives and stuff. My God, with, what is it, 4 billionaires in that in that little minivan-sized submersible, and they still couldn't find them in time. That's that's horrific. Yeah. It is weird how these things capture people's imagination, isn't it? I suppose it's because we all, I mean, that is a primal fear, isn't it, of sort of being trapped underwater. The one that really got me was the guy who brought his son. He's got his 19-year-old son there, had his 19-year-old son there. That's just, oh God, I can't even, I just don't even, man, that's, I can't think about it, honestly. I can't even, I don't think I could spend, I can't, yeah, that's horrible. I understand why tourists need to go and look at it, essentially a mass grave site. It's an interesting point, Nixie Geek. It's a very privileged death, I would have to say. I mean, it was $250,000 per seat. So that guy paid $500,000 for him and his son to die in a freaking tin can. Again, I understand the desire to explore. I think there is a peril with this kind of extreme billionaire travel stuff. You know what I mean? These sort of space tourists, and now I guess sub-tourists. And I suppose sub-tourists, it's all going to have to be checked out, because I can't imagine there won't be repercussions to this. Also, just, the cost of manpower and everything they were doing to try to find that thing. That is just horrific. Is that actually the story? We know for sure that was the case. I realize I'm just talking about it like it's news, and I don't know. They knew what they paid for. They signed the waivers, and they knew it was an unregulated submersible. No pity from me. I know, Cal, but it still doesn't make it any less sad, Cal. You know what I mean? I just the human element. Forget where they stand in society. The idea of being trapped in a little space for so long, no matter, and maybe it's even worse knowing that you did this to yourself. I don't know. I mean, I must say I do. It does make me feel quite miserable. Anyways, thank you for letting me know. I didn't know that. I sort of hoped they might figure it out, but I guess not. It is amazing that all those resources and people and time, and they couldn't figure it out. But I guess it's a bit like looking for like a needle in a haystack, isn't it? I mean, the Titanic, that area is just covered in debris and is incredibly deep. Pressure is incredibly high. It's not something I would do. You're not going to catch me in one of those things. I mean, I would absolutely love to do submersible travel. Absolutely love it. Again, I'm a big fan of robots. I say this about space travel as well. I think we should be sending freaking robots. Why do you put people in danger when you don't have to? That is a purely freaking tourist, unnecessary, 100% preventable death. And I suppose that's where Cal's frustration comes from. But as you say, there's no need to float around between, whatever it is, 12 inches of glass looking at a mass grave site, from just so you could say you did, I guess. Why not just put on some freaking VR goggles and, do some first person view drones that go down there? That'd be freaking awesome. Can you imagine that? I'd do that. I would totally do that. Can you imagine that? Like a fleet of little submersibles that go down and explore the Titanic. I mean, or the bottom of the ocean or any of that kind of stuff. Again, as long as it's not disrupting things or causing any, horrible environmental issues. The idea of being able to put on a pair of goggles, it'd be like being there. Charge a fortune, it would be cheaper, and you wouldn't have to worry about killing people. So there you go, problem solved. There was a good program in which Tony Robson, Blackadder's Baldrick, I've got a cunning plan. Went diving with James Cameron down to the Mariana Trench. Yes, at least they used decent, well-tested kit. Yeah, I think they should send robots. Lord Viltor is saying exactly what I've said, which is, of course, brilliant. That, we should send robots to Mars, give us jobs, remote controlling them, building on Mars. There's a fascinating potential here for people. Imagine people whose job is to sort of like to log into these space vessels and or even sea vessels and pilot them around. It'd be just freaking awesome. Let me just check, make sure I'm in the right chat and stuff. So I I'm not ignoring anybody. Oh, good. Okay, no, I'm not. All right. Hey, I'm allowed to talk. I guess I'm just chatting today. It's just me. Someone let Vibe Pup know we're streaming, just so he doesn't feel like he's missed one. Remote presence in a moon robot, though. That sounds like fun, doesn't it? I mean, I think we can do that. Yeah. There's a fun video from Tom Scott recently on a fun robot submarine. James, there's a great channel that I follow. Let me see if I can find it. It's a couple of Polish students, and they've created their own 3D printable submersible, and it's freaking awesome. Let me get this out of the way. A little bit. Let's try that as our Stargate. Okay. Let me see if I can find this thing for us. It was, oh, I know. It'll be in my history, won't it? Of course it will, David. Very smart. What? That's not, I didn't look at those. What? That's weird. What? I didn't look at any of that stuff. That's weird. That's really weird. Okay. That's bizarre. Okay, so they're called CP Drone. CPS Drone. They're fantastic. They make these great little videos. Like really well-made videos. And they have a freaking course that I am dying to do, which walks you through the process of creating these submersibles that they've built and all the little tips and tricks, and you learn from their mistakes. But their videos are just like, they're fun, and there's a passion and a joy there that I just absolutely love. I cannot suggest them enough. Yeah, Tom Scott's fantastic. I love Tom Scott as well. The Sub in the Garden. Yeah. Laser satellites and Starlink array on Mars, but yeah, who knows if they can get the ping low enough. I even wondered if maybe there's a way of using like some kind of quantum entanglement to connect to far-flung spaces and control robots and things. But eventually it's just going to read our brains and send the messages months in advance so that it does what we want when we want it to, because it's figured out what we wanted it to do. I mean, now I'm going down a rabbit hole. I've eaten my tail. I'm the snake that has eaten my own tail. I think the Mythbusters did it to prove a point. But David, I have a different question, says Bot Bruiser. I am a super casual fan about news from Stargate, from Central Europe, but I probably saw SG-1 Atlantis all about 100 times. Wow. Do you know anything new future? I know. Everyone wants to know. I've heard something, but I hoped you would know more. Maybe sorry for bothering. Not a bother at all. Always a good question. I'm always on the lookout for news on that front as well, but I have heard nada. Nothing. I keep hearing things every so often. It sort of flares up like a bad, heartburn. And everyone gets all excited about it, and then it just sort of disappears again. And I wonder sometimes if it's just people just trying to get attention by mentioning it. But, there was a lot of kerfuffle when I guess Amazon bought, was it Amazon? I think it was Amazon. Amazon bought MGM, and everyone went, oh my God, it's perfect, a series. And then the last thing I heard was that they were going to reboot it as a movie or something. Anyways, who knows? I don't know. I'm the last person to know. I'm the last one who will know, but I'm sure I'll have lots to say about it, because I have lots to say about lots of things. Jeff Bezos could divert some of the real rocket money to Stargate. Well, that's what, I mean, I think he was a big part of, Critical Role's success, because his son was into Critical Role, and I think they definitely took an interest in that as well. So yeah, if Bezos is a fan of The Expanse, he should be a fan of Stargate. Yeah, they're different shows though, Movie Lad. Like I do think if you're a fan of this nihilistic, dark sci-fi, which I am, I love it. Sci-fi horror is one of my favorite of all times. It's a very different show than Stargate. Stargate is definitely more sort of almost a Disney-like, if that makes sense. It's more family viewing than The Expanse, I think. I'm not saying that's a better thing or a worse thing. I'm just saying it's a different thing. So I think that might be, if he likes The Expanse, then maybe he'll do SGU, because SGU makes, so it's definitely more Expanse-like in its approach. A beautiful, beautiful show, and much more sort of darker and more broody than our stuff. So, yeah, I mean, Stargate Universe did go dark. Yeah, absolutely. I heard it was a revival of Stargate, not a new reboot. Oh, see, I hear different things all the time. So I'm like the last person you should ask, because I'm probably the last person who will know what's going on. Who would know the most? I'm trying to think who would know the most. Well, who would know the most is Amazon. Amazon, like I would say, you could basically ignore everything except the news that comes out of Amazon. That's the only thing that, to me, maybe MGM, but even MGM, I feel like they sort of announce things every so often just for fun, just to sort of get their name in the news again or something. I'm not sure what the deal is, but recently started watching Farscape. Yeah, I think I would like Farscape. It's something I keep meaning to watch, but I haven't yet. How to Survive a Science Fictional Universe. No, I look forward to that. Farscape's absolutely bonkers. I love the idea. Like that, the crazier the better. You know, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, Doctor Who was nuts. Back in the day. Back in my time, you know, Doctor Who was quite risque. MGM like to put on announcements to see how much the fan response is. Yeah, maybe that's it. You know, maybe that's it. Claudia Black, fantastic. Well, Claudia Black and of course Browder as well. They were both from Farscape, right? I mean, I think they were brought in because the writers were such fans of their work on that show. How about funny and dark? More interesting than just dark. Yeah, I agree, Raytheon. Like, my favorite science fiction, my favorite horror, my favorite just about everything has a sense of humor to it, because I live my life with a huge sense of humor. I have to look at me. I have to look in the mirror at this every day. You know, so there's a definite sense of humor that one needs to bring. I think one needs to bring to one's life. And if when I'm 1,000 years old, someone says, you know, what's the key to a happy life and a happy wife and all that kind of stuff, it would be, I think, humor. I think humor just goes so far with these things, and I love. That's why I love the Stargate approach to science fiction, is that I feel like it has this wonderful sort of current sense of humor about whatever's happening. And while that may feel dated now, because it was current at the time, if that makes sense, it's current to when it's filmed. And I really enjoyed that. I'm trying to think of other shows that have worked for me in that way. You know, there's not a ton of them. You know what I mean? I've got to say, there's not a lot of those sort of ones that speak to the world as it is today, as well as sort of futuristic stuff as well. So that's kind of fun. The X-Files were fun that way, and all those, still love those kind of shows. Weirdly for me now, I'm watching more movies than I am television shows. I mean, there's a few shows on now that I like. Black Mirror, oh my God, I am loving Black Mirror. But I can't talk about it because I got to wait till Gimpy G's seen it, because I sicked him on it. So we'll see what he makes of it. But I've watched the first, I guess, three episodes, I guess. And there's some really fun stuff. That Charlie Brooker guy, man, he does some great stuff. Like, just the first one is kind of really messes with your mind. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, because it messes with, you know, it plays with the whole idea of you know, those things we sign when we sign on to a new service, and it plays with the idea of privacy, and it plays with the idea of identity, and it's just it's a wonderful show. If you haven't watched Black Mirror, there's a number of those that are, I mean, some better than others, but there is some absolutely terrifyingly prescient stuff that he's talking about in there. There's a wonderful one that had called, I think it was called Metalhead or something like that, which is about this robot dog, and it is relentless. It's freaking great. I wonder how it stands up. I don't. It's been a while. So pig episode, yeah, that was that. Weirdly, the pig episode was, I was kind of like, yeah. I thought that was like, yeah, you know. But I guess as a first episode, it's spectacular, because it's like, what the, you know, it sort of tells you what to expect. You know, it sort of throws everything for a loop. But I mean, I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it. I just thought it was I didn't actually feel like that was the strongest of the episodes that they'd done. So, yeah, the Star Trek sadism episode. Woo, holy cow. That was freaking great. I came across a Twitch channel the other day that plays old TV shows. Sapphire and Silver. Wow. Joanna Lumley. Oh, wow. That is wild. That is going back a ways. It's a Twitch channel. Is it showing him, like, is it just an illegal thing, or is it an actual, are they allowed to be, do they have the rights to show this stuff, or are they just doing it anyways? What? Did anyone watch the Lost Black Adder pilot on UK TV Gold the other day? It was so unlike the actual first season. Wow. So there was an alternate Black Adder pilot. Is interesting. I would like to see that. Yeah, San Junipero was lovely, absolutely lovely. There was a couple of them. There was another one. There was that dating one that was just, I thought was really sweet as well. I really enjoyed that. When do rights for a TV show generally end, David? Good question, Pac-Mom. I don't think they really do, to be honest. I think I think at some point they enter, I guess those rights would end when they entered when the copyright, the statute on the copyrights is over. When as soon as once I think, what is it, 50 years or something like that. But then even those sometimes get renewed as well. But they usually cling to those things pretty good. Yeah, what is it called when something goes out of, not so much out of print, but it becomes, what's it called? It goes into the out of copyright. Public domain. That's right. So it goes into the public domain. Let me see. When a book no longer has a copyright, it can be copied, sold, adapted, etc. by anyone who so chooses. Copyright law can be complicated, and it varies from one country to another. There you go. So that's the issue on that. I'm guessing that's the only time that this stuff goes away. But my hunch is with TV and streaming stuff now, people probably buy the rights. Well, maybe they just rent them. But I guess I could just say I don't know, Pac-Mom. But that wouldn't be as fun as me trying to make stuff up. Jane would be a good person to ask that, because Jane's just done an exam. Well, just created an exam for her film students at the Toronto Film School. She's doing she does this course on film production, sort of indie film production, and so she's just done an exam for a bunch of her students, and she was quizzing me on some of the questions. Do I know the film industry that I've been in since I was 16 years old, 1,000 years ago? Nosferatu from 1922 is part of the public domain now, and it's 101 years. Wow. Just looked it up. Life of the author plus 70 years. What? The life of the author and 70 years? Wow. So as long as you're alive, you still got the copyright? That's basically it? That's why we're seeing things like Winnie the Pooh horror movies and stuff like that. I guess that for a short period of time, it may have gone out of, it went into public domain, or maybe maybe Disney has wrapped that up somehow. But there was definitely some stuff that had gone into public domain that people were like, now's it. Like, it's potentially, that's why we see all these movies showing up suddenly, that, remakes of old things. We can blame Disney for that. There you go. All the Sherlock rights ended on January the 1st this year, so anyone can make Sherlock adaptations. Wow. You might still get Winds of Winter if Grimm gets another 70 years. What? If Grimm... I'd have missed that. Catatonia, I'm sorry, I missed something there. Oh, yeah, I went to a Sherlock Christmas Carol play in December after that happened. Oh, wow. So anyone can do a Sherlock Holmes adaptation now. Well, doesn't that make me start thinking? Rodney McKay as Sherlock Holmes. Although Sherlock Holmes, was very McKay-like in his approach to people as well, for that matter. Sherlock Stargate, I love that. I love it. George R.R. Martin. What about George R.R. Martin? Oh. Yes. That's what GRRM means? So might still get Winds of Winter if he gets another 70 years. Yeah, I see. He's notoriously slow at getting those books out, isn't he? British Rodney is a trench coat with OCD solving crimes. He's more like a British Rodney in a trench coat with ADHD solving crimes. That's probably more like it. That's interesting, though. That is interesting. It does make you think of it. It's kind of fun how you can sort of rework things like that. Once you if you've got open license to do that kind of stuff, it's kind of cool. Jane and I are working on a couple things now. She's twisted my arm to do a little more writing again, because I just haven't, since debug, I just haven't wanted to. And, but she's promised me that if I work on this thing, that she'll keep us safe from other people's meddling and evil business decisions and things. So anyway, so we started working together on a little script idea there, which I'm really enjoying, I've got to say. I don't like the writing, but I really enjoy the research and the jotting things down and coming up with silly little things to put in it and stuff. And it's really it's kind of kind of fun, and of course it plays to all the things that I'm sort of interested in right now. And then I have a sci-fi one that I've really got to talk to Lance about sometime. I want to write up the pitch probably before I talk to him about it, but it's just kind of it's kind of a warped and twisted little sci-fi horror, I guess, in a way, maybe a cautionary tale. Anyways, I'm glad you'll get to make it without those issues you had last time. Yeah, that'd be nice. I mean, that's look. If Jane's in charge, I'm not worried about it. Jane will make the decisions that are best for whatever, you know. But when it's very easy to lose control of your own stuff in this industry. It's just not it's not an industry that is kind to its creators in any way. You know. So, anyways, totally agree with Dixie Geek. What has she said? Oh yes, Rodney was a competent Watson. I would watch. Not a bumbling Watson though. I hate when they make Watson an idiot. Well, Watson wasn't an idiot, right? He was not an idiot. Although I would say that Beckett was more of a Watson. It wasn't Watson a medical doctor? Wasn't that the idea? So it could be. Oh boy, that would be good, wouldn't it? Can you imagine that? It'd be like Rodney and Beckett as Sherlock Holmes and Watson. That'd be freaking great. Actually, that'd be amazing. Yeah, I totally go for that. Babylonia, thank you very much. Wow, 100 purpley-looking pyramids. Everyone would watch. No kidding. It's sort of I think I'm preaching to the choir here. You know, anyone who's here is probably a little aware of the Stargate stuff, especially Cal, who's the biggest Stargate fan. Well, biggest McKay fan there is out there, right, Cal? How long did it take him to make The Man Who Killed Don Quixote? Yeah, no kidding. Bot Bruiser. Come on, dude. That's my friend Beckett. Always glad to be around, says Babylonia. It's good. It's good. At least I'm not Terry Gilliam. Why not? Oh, yeah, who took... But this is it. Or Guillermo, for that matter. Sorry, I'm coughing. They had to... on my... these are more details than you need, but on my endoscopy, because they did an endoscopy and a colonoscopy, when they did an endoscopy, they had to take some things to look at. So so I've got this... I keep things keep catching in my throat. I'm hoping my voice is going to get kind of cool and raspy because of it, but I'm not sure if that's going to work. Oh my God! I saw Jason Momoa in the latest Fast and Furious movie. He was having so much freaking fun. He was such a pleasure to watch on that god-awful film. I mean, the film doesn't make any sense. I don't know what Vin Diesel is doing, or any of them for that matter, but my God, Momoa. Momoa was a shining beacon of both comedy and evil. Oh, he was fantastic. He was just fantastic, and he was reveling in it, and it was so good to see, you know, Jason shining through on this stuff. So, yeah, I gotta say, he was chewing up the scenery, and I freaking love him for it. It was fantastic. Well worth seeing the movie just for Jason, honestly. Well, there's a million great little, roles in there by various different, like every famous person ever. But Jason, without a doubt, stood out as good old Jason. He did some great stuff. He's so bright, just makes you smile no matter what. It's very true. It's very true. Has anyone seen episode 2 of My Secret Identity? Has a young David Hewlett playing rock. It's true, Steve's. It's true. Steve 68. Were you born 68, Steves? That's me too. I was 68 as well. Yes, My Secret Identity, where they put a leather cap on me and a leather jacket to make me look, you know, tough. Oh, wait a sec. Hang on. Is that the chimes of doom or is it Gimpy G?
Both.
Oh, how are you, buddy?
Good, good, good.
What have you been doing? Eating or something? What's the?
Okay. I did a serious pad yesterday.
Uh-oh.
And I had a meeting scheduled with Teresa.
Yeah.
Right? And
did you screw up?
I even had my sister look up my nose.
Yeah.
You know, that way, you know, nobody's looking at my nose. I'm ready a half hour before.
Yeah.
I start watching, like, TV, and then it's the 2:15, and I'm like, oh, shit.
You missed the whole thing?
I missed half of it. So she said, we'll just reschedule today, and that's what we did.
You just got to play the disability card. That's what you got to do. It's like you got to.
I couldn't. I just.
Can't you make up something? Come on, you got to be. There's got to be something.
Yeah,
you can do.
It would have been easy.
Yeah,
like,
too easy.
My hoojickermigger
was
interfering with my thingamajig.
I had an inferior honor with the majigger thing. Yeah,
right,
absolutely. Yeah. It's complicated.
My colon has been quite torturous.
You Abes wouldn't understand it. Yeah.
Abes don't get it.
Abes don't get it. Abe's is our new term for able-bodied people, is what we've decided now. We've decided to come up with a term that will offend people who are able-bodied. That's our plan.
True.
That's how we're going to
Like
undo.
cis.
Sorry, was that? Go on.
Like cis.
What is that? What does cis mean, by the way? What does cis mean?
Well, according to my research, in chemistry, there are molecules that mostly interact with each other.
Right.
And those are called transitory.
Yeah.
Or no, other way around. Those are called cis something.
I feel James will be jumping in momentarily on this one.
Yeah. Okay. So, and then molecules that will interact with each other and everyone else and kind of aren't set in their, we'll say that in their ways. Those were called transitory. The ones that just went with their own kind were called cis. Right. So they applied that in the trans.
I see.
And then hetero thing. Never intended as a slur.
Huh.
So I don't know what Elon Musk...
but it's now a slur? So
Musk said it's a slur on Twitter now.
What, you mean you're not allowed to use it on Twitter?
That's what he said. It's considered harassment or... Well, and then
Wait a second, I thought he was a free speech absolutist.
Well, absolutely, if you're one of his fellow bigots.
I'm not touching this with a 10-foot pole, says James R. Gurney. Really?
Oh, yeah?
Have I stepped in it? Has Lance shown up and immediately stepped in it? Well, actually, Lance, you missed the beginning of this, but because you're late. And as it turns out, incredibly, not now you've got all these interviews. You're just getting a little blasé about it all, I think.
Big for the riches.
Get this. So I was complaining I was having a bit of a Midjourney meltdown about the fact that I've been using Midjourney and I keep coming up against words that are banned. More and more and more words that are banned. You know what one of the words is, my friend?
It'd be weird if it was like Hillary Clinton.
Actually, that's interesting. I wonder if you could use. I bet you there is some kind of political things. Well, no, it was a story I read on Reddit about a woman who has a kid with Down syndrome. So she wanted to do Down syndrome superheroes on Midjourney. Down syndrome is a forbidden word on Midjourney.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. And I said I'm writing about this in the email of awesomeness will be out later today. But I was saying, like, this is really worrying because this is not an AI problem. This is a people problem.
It's a people.
Yeah, like it's, we've politicized gun violence. We've politicized this, that, the other. We've monetized outrage, and now people are freaking out that they're going to get sued. So they're. I'm not even sure if it is well-meaning. I felt that maybe it was well-meaning, trying to protect people, but protect them from who? From idiots who are going to get around this stuff anyways, right? I mean,
my gosh.
Wait, if you're worried about someone saying that Midjourney came up with an image that was like racist, sexist, fascist, whatever, I mean, then I could go into Photoshop, create an image that made up of different elements of AI and put it out and say, oh my God, look what Midjourney put out. And it's just freaking false, but people will run with it, right? I mean,
You've been trying to put me in stuff. Maybe that's been the block. Or does it disallow wheelchair now?
No, because of course, as soon as I read that, I started writing down superhero with disabilities and also like trying to figure out what was allowed to do. And it did some, they're in my email of awesomeness this week. I've got a couple of just really cool shots. I had it use one of my favorite Canadian comic book artists. His name's Jeff Lemire. He's the guy who created Sweet Tooth, not that saccharine sweet piece of crap on television, but the amazing, gorgeous series of graphic novels.
Oh, the graphic novels.
Oh, okay. Man, they're good. They are so good. Anyways. And so I had a combination of him and Ralph Steadman, who does all of the old, all that crazy Hunter S. Thompson titles and things.
Okay.
So I had them combine, and it came up with this fantastic exploding wheelchair guy that just looks amazing. as I say, I'm going to save it though. I'm going to save it for the email of awesomeness because I want people to have a look at it that way. I'll send it to you though, because I know I don't want you to have to read all that crap.
Hunter S. Thompson interviews back when he was alive.
Is he dead now?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know,
He's way dead.
I thought
he smoked like a train.
I thought one of my Cube co-stars was dead, and she's not.
Oh, you jerk!
I know. What an asshole move.
It turned out
it wasn't like it turns out it was actually Wayne, not Nikki. Like, so I know that Wayne. I knew that someone had died in Cube, and that I was sad about it. And for some reason I was thinking it was Nikki, but it wasn't. It was Wayne, and I feel awful because I started this whole thing by chatting on about it, like going like, yeah, I think she's dead, and people are like, I don't think so. I'm like, well, who would know? Yeah. Anyways,
you think that's bad? You probably called Wayne's house, had a conversation with like his kid, calling him Wayne, and
you know what I did this weekend?
You old son of a gun.
Yeah, this weekend I saw my little niece Georgina, Kate's kid. And as she's leaving, I said, well, say goodbye, say hi to Daddy for me. And then Kate's like, David. And I'm like, what? What's happened? I was like, oh my God, are they broken up or something? No, apparently he's gone off to do a play in Newfoundland, up in Gander, Newfoundland. And so and the kid is really struggling with him being away. And of course, Uncle David has no idea. But I love that Kate feels like I did that on purpose. That I would I have chosen to torture your child on purpose. David, that is really the limit. Anyway, so that's how much she trusts me. Sorry, so you missed out on Teresa, but you've now had 2 shorter chats.
Well, we just had a short chat today. I'm thinking of interesting ideas that she might need to approach. But
yes,
I don't know what it would do to your initial vision.
I don't have an initial vision. It's hers. It's entirely up to her.
Well, you had an initial vision. So.
I had an initial vision, but we have passed that on to Teresa to run with. Although I will say this. I did send her an email because I looked over her documents, and I'm going to see if I can... I wonder... I might just read this to you, actually, if you're okay with this.
Yeah, I'm fine with this. Are you okay with it?
I don't know. Let's see how it goes. Let's see if I can say this stuff.
Is your colon okay for reading?
I think so. I'll let you know, or it'll let us know.
Do you need a medicine of any sort?
No, God knows I do not want any more medicine of any sort.
Do you have one of those donuts?
No. No.
Okay.
When do you get the donut?
Really?
When do you get your butt donut?
I don't know. I don't have one, but I feel like you should probably have one. Maybe you could get one 3D printed.
No, weirdly, that's not being an issue. Well, anyways, that's fine. This is an old man talk. This is geriatric talk. Okay, so my big thing was this. I am no longer guiding this upgrade required movie. I am no longer a director in it. I'm no longer a writer in it. I have become almost just a participant in it, if that makes sense. I am now just part of the documenting process. And, I'm still not entirely sure how comfortable I am with that, but the reality is that people seem to like the idea that there's this sci-fi guy and he's interested in assistive tech and human augmentation, that kind of stuff. So, and she very wisely said, look, this is a buddy movie. But the way she's pitched it, the way she was talking about it was that it was like this triumvirate of the 3 of us. And I just said, look, I just feel like I love Q, but Q is an experimental chef, and I cannot help him with that. And and it's not a passion for me. And also he's a lot younger than I am. So I absolutely...
How old is Q?
I don't know. He's got to be 30 maybe, something like that.
Okay.
So that is a lot younger than us, right? I mean, so I was just saying, look, I love the idea of it being a buddy movie, but I also just want to be clear that I just want to make sure that it's factual. And she's not denying that in any way. I mean, there's not. In fact, I probably shouldn't be talking about any of this. But the reality is, she's at that point where she's trying to put together how she's going to do this whole thing, and I want to stay out of it because I just don't want to be meddling in it at all. But I did want to sort of clear things up. So I was just saying to her, basically, I just paraphrase it. It's long and boring, but basically that my relationship with Q is I consider myself a friend of Q's. We talk periodically for a catch up and if there's anything, that we can work on together, fantastic. You know, maybe it's a, you know, some movie-based concoction, you know, but even then I don't drink anymore. So I'm not much use on that either. Man. I know, I just suck. You know, but I do listen to his podcast, not every episode, but numerous podcasts. What's the show called again? It's fun. It's Cooking Issues. Cooking Issues. It's great. It's a really good podcast, even for people who aren't fascinated by cooking. So anyways, the point being is that I feel like when Q and I met, we were both on a similar trajectory towards this sort of human augmentation, assistive tech stuff that he is since, you know, being the young man that he is, and absolutely, you know, all the best to him for it. He's sort of more veered off into his, you know, his chefly creations, and now this fantastic job working on a big New York chef podcast. I mean, he has got himself a great gig there.
It's weird. I thought it was Canadian, but huge.
No,
so you say it's
he's a New York. It's based out of New York. He's making New York freaking dime now. Like, he's like, it is a coup for anybody. Forget someone who's got, you know, muscular dystrophy. I mean, this guy, you know, like that is a job that a lot of people would want. Anyway, so he's got this fantastic job there. But again, as a result, I don't talk to him that much. Whereas you're like you're like the evil little brother. I mean, like, it's like, you know, like we're the same age. We've got similar grumpy old white man
you're older,
tastes.
But yeah.
I'm how much older? Like a month or something, right?
Like 18 months, maybe 2 years. I don't know.
Is it seriously?
I just know it's a lot.
God, I look so much better than you. But I mean, again, so same terrible sense of humor, same, you know, same, you know, straight white male stuff, sci-fi, Star Wars, all these sort of things. You know, Magic the Gathering. Although I got you to Magic the Gathering, didn't I? Was it me? You got you? I made you. And then you freaking took off and became like a warlock of Magic, and I couldn't play you anymore, so we had to play. We should do that again. I miss that.
I'll do it.
Would you?
Sure.
I just don't like giving Hasbro money. I feel like they've screwed Magic the Gathering.
I'm not sure how we get around that, but I mean, we could give a different company money.
Could we? Like, what do we do though? Like, I just feel like, look, have you seen that atrocity that is Lord of the Rings that they've done?
No, okay, I've seen some. It's awful.
It's awful. The artwork looks like those freaking gnome books from the 1980s. Remember those? Remember when everyone was obsessed with those gnome books? These aren't even that good. It looks like an artist's rendition, a teenage artist's rendition of the... I shouldn't be mean. Maybe the art is in the eye of the beholder, but I think it looks like crap. And it looks like a money grab. Did you ever
land on any of the 70s copies of the Lord of the Rings books?
Was it like that?
Like every chapter they would have like some kind of art.
Terrible 70s art.
Really bad.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it like that Joy of Sex bad?
I didn't read that.
You never saw that? That was almost put me off sex, that book. It was
really?
I
should watch it.
It was all drawings of hairy 70s people, and it you know, it was awful. It was terrible. Honestly, I shudder at the thought of it. It was absolutely disturbing. You know, but it was one of those sort of like books that apparently it was revolutionary because we were discussing, and to me it was disgusting, not discussing. Anyways, it was awful.
James Gurney disparaged me, but go ahead, yeah.
What did he? Lance is too lazy to hold down a job. It's funny. Yeah, he doesn't need to. He's big. He's a kick-ass consultant now, James R. Gurney.
True.
Yeah, watch out. He'll set the Google on you. Have you got any word on that? Any further along on that stuff?
Yeah. Would you like to hear any
I would very much like to hear about that. Go for it.
Okay,
I'm going to sip my coffee while you chat.
Glenn is the person you and I have had contact with. Like at the...
Good guy. Like him. Yeah.
We'll say, height challenged. Totally awesome. Nice guy.
Did you say height challenged?
It turns out, yeah. But he's a stout little guy. He's like a fire plug.
Is it? I never want to hear how you describe me to anyone ever, just so you know. But carry on.
Fire plug is involved.
You're so fired already.
So people above him are more interested in media pipe getting attention.
Right.
Than game face.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So we have to switch around and Khan is going to become more involved.
Oh, great.
And explain.
We love Khan.
True. And see, that's what I really, really want that small, like 3-second clip of Shatner going,
Khan!
Like
I'm sure someone could
time-
pull that up. Couldn't someone pull that up for us? Someone could. Surely someone could.
Yeah.
Nip that little snippet of Khan. It must be Is it not a? It's got to be a GIF. It's got to be a GIF.
They want to lure people. They want to lure developers in. Okay.
Right.
Show them the potential of MediaPipe.
Mm-hmm.
And GameFace is one of those. Who knew? Nobody thought of it until we did. That kind of thing.
Right. Because we are Google geniuses now.
We are the genius.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
So, like, I have an idea of Khan being like my science Jiminy Cricket. Like I'm. Like
Is he gonna sing? I don't think he'd be good at singing.
Well, he probably wouldn't, but we don't need.
Okay, all right.
We don't have. We can go with that Del Toro, Pinocchio stuff. Or
Yeah.
Singing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. There was singing in that too, though.
But oh God.
I'm not a fan of singing. I gotta say, I don't like the singing.
I don't know.
Yeah, I can't do it. As soon as people start singing and dancing, unless it's like Rocky Horror Picture Show or I don't know, or Moulin Rouge. Do you ever see Moulin Rouge?
Ooh, I like the kitty. I know.
Oh my God, loved it. No. The one with Obi-Wan Kenobi and
okay, yeah.
Cruise's ex-wife.
No Baby Yoda, but sure.
Yeah. All right, what do we got? You got okay. So
I have to do MediaPipe. I'm thinking of like I want him to like when I'm doing something, somebody says, "How are you doing that?" Like I'm playing the game, and I go, "Oh, magic, right?" Or something like that.
Right. It's just magic.
And then Khan breaks in, and I go Khan, and then you see
Khan!
Kirk going Khan.
Yep.
And then he goes through and explains to me, how to utilize MediaPipe to get these things to work, and that's actually just
that's great.
One small crumb.
That's great.
That's just since yesterday.
I gotta play with MediaPipe. I've gotta play with MediaPipe because I played with it briefly when they first mentioned it just to see what it was doing and what it could do. But I've gotta. There's a new development in AI. I was toying with putting it into the email of awesomeness this week, but I think it's a little too in the weeds for most people. But there's a new feature coming. To ChatGPT, which allows it to do something called function calling. And what that means is you can train the AI to work with the API, which is the application protocol interface, whatever it's called, the way of interfacing with different programs. Like instead of having to like just getting to the brains of a program as opposed to having to work around all the user interface stuff.
Okay.
So technically, you could type into Google, especially with Google, if it's a Google interface, potentially you could have chat. Oh, no, ChatGPT isn't Google, is it? Although the T part of ChatGPT is Google, by the way. The idea of being able to type in and say, I want Midjourney to do this, they're saying in the near future that will make direct calls to MediaPipe and result in the code that you want it to do. So it can speak directly to the programs instead of giving you code to interact with the programs. Does that make sense?
It does.
Which is really that is like ground freaking breaking, which means that people could use real world language like, hey, I want Lance to suck more at this game, and using, a MediaPipe, and it will figure out how to make you worse at your game than you are already.
And it gives me David's lip problem or something.
You mean, hey, that's my facial disability you're mocking.
True.
My lack of lips and ability to do church lady. Just because your face is like a giant piece of molded rubber doesn't mean that all of us could do
things. The Jim Carrey of muscular dystrophy. That's what they've said. No, not really. I just did.
You mean a bit crazy? Or what
true.
Yeah.
Rich and really out of it.
Yeah. Is he rich? I guess he would be rich, wouldn't he?
Oh, he'd be fantastically wealthy.
They were talking about this writer strike thing, and they were saying that, like, Seinfeld, people are still getting residuals for, like, Seinfeld episodes and Friends episodes and all this kind of stuff. But, of course, anybody who's made a show that it was for the streamer, they just get paid the once. They don't get residuals because it stays on Netflix, it stays on Amazon or whatever. You know what I mean? So I'm guessing. I guess that means now it's on Amazon. We don't get paid anymore for Stargate. I guess I was getting like a check for 24 cents every so often. It's fun. The strike is still going on as far as I'm concerned. But then again, I also didn't know that the freaking sub had imploded. I thought they still had a chance.
Oh, it did implode?
Well, look, I say that. Someone told me on the stream, and of course, I immediately assumed it was real. But I don't know why they would make it up. People here are usually pretty cool. I
totally trust in it.
Sub missing. Let's see. I trust the interwebs.
I hope it imploded, and that's when they went missing.
No. Wait a sec. What's that? 7 minutes. Sub likely imploded. All 5 passengers are believed dead.
Well, like I said,
that was 7 minutes ago.
Didn't know anything was happening. No, it imploded 7 minutes ago, or the story came out 7 minutes ago?
The story came out 7 minutes ago.
Okay.
Okay, wait a second. It says here, the Titanic submersible that's been missing for days suffered a catastrophic loss of pressure that imploded the vessel, killing all 5 passengers on board. That's got to be quick. Please tell me that's quick.
Oh, it's got to. I mean, they were like 1,000 meters down or something like that.
The debris is consistent with a catastrophic loss of pressure.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know why.
Dude, you're breaking 100 people right now. Shit,
That's
we
just
lost
so
7.
sad.
Okay,
like,
talk.
It's just so sad, isn't it? I mean, like, I know Cal was saying, like, oh, they're a bunch of billionaires, and not that they deserve to die, but she didn't feel a lot of pity for someone who'd spent $250,000 to put themselves in harm's way in a system that doesn't have any regulations and has no safety or little safety protocols and stuff.
Did you read the articles on that guy? Like, I've read articles.
No, what's the
like
deal?
When they were speaking to him. Well, he was really bemoaning regulation. He said that the sub was obscenely safe because of all these regulations and stipulations.
All these dang regulations?
Yep, They were stifling his creativity and his money-making ability.
He was bemoaning regulations and the need for safety, etc.
Correct.
Wow.
And I'm sure he told all those people, I'm sure that's part of his
shtick.
His sales pitch, right? This is so safe, it's grossly safe. It's like, wrapping you in styrofoam and putting tissue paper around that and then dunking you in, I don't know, paraffin wax.
You're right, Captain Catherine, though. It doesn't mean it's not sad, and it's still a loss of life. And the one that just, no, I can't say, I was going to say crushes me, but that's just horrible, is the father and son. Like, could you imagine sitting there as the father going like, great, I just killed myself and my 19-year-old son by spending $500,000. I hope it happened. I hope it happened fast. I hope they got down and it suddenly went. I mean, at that pressure, surely if there was any kind of an issue, it would very quickly.
Dude, we'll have to have Gurney do the math, but I mean, that's like, what would that be? It would be at least a ton of pressure per square inch. So it would be like having a dynamite during your surgery, inserted, and then boom.
Like an exploding tumor. I mean, this is it, and I've said this before, even on this stream, but I'll say it again. I just don't think we should be putting humans in harm's way, especially for a freaking thrill. It doesn't make sense to me. I mean, this is a classic example of people being able to pay their way out of safe travel. Like, they spent a lot of money, and I'm sure they signed every piece of paper there was to do it, but there are different rules applying to those billionaires than there are to everybody else because they can pay for it.
Right.
Yeah. And they paid for
money.
it.
I mean, okay, the wife that didn't go, there's no way that little waiver he signed is going to hold up to the army of lawyers she's going to throw at that company.
Oh my God. Well, what about the cost of the search? I wouldn't be surprised if they got sued by various different countries for that matter. I mean,
yep.
And also I just can't get my head around this. What is the difference between being in a little frickin' tin can for $250,000, peering through the darkness of 12 inches of glass or whatever the hell it is.
Right.
Looking at most things on a freaking screen anyways. Send a fucking robot. Like, send a robot, put on your first-person view glasses, and open it up to everybody instead of billionaires who are dying because of...
Well,
that's my voice of frustration.
This is where my sympathy for... Okay, this really gives me, like, a little perspective on what it must have been like when the Titanic went down.
Hello, Audrey the Crow. Sorry, I just had to throw a little hello there because she was, hello. They said Audrey said hello in a kind of a call, like a crow-like way. Yeah, sorry, carry on.
Like, I think in Europe, a ship with like 600 immigrants or whatever you want to call them. Not immigrants. What would they be?
Refugees? Refugees?
Refugees. Yeah, refugees. Yeah. It went down and killed several hundred. Now, how much time has that gotten? None. 100 people on the raft coming to America died in a similar situation. That doesn't make a blip.
But 4 freaking billionaires.
4 billionaires. Oh no.
But I think it's not just the billionaires though. I think this is one of those. I truly think this is kind of one of those stories that just hits a primal fear for people. The idea of being stuck. Sure. Running out of oxygen. This is like an episode of Stargate or an episode of or a film. I mean, this is a horror and the type of horror that I think resonates. But you're right. I think there is absolutely more importance put on something like that than the fact that the wars that are happening, the number of people killed in Ukraine in the last week. Right. You know what I mean? I mean, yes.
Not that. I get what you're saying, but I think there's also a feeling that you're a billionaire. You've made it, right? So
you're untouchable.
Right. Don't you have this all planned out? You're going to live forever because artificial intelligence is going to, you're going to download. I think people, the same kind of conspiracy brain that says, no, somebody's got to be in charge. Well, that somebody is these billionaires. And if they can just die like that, I think that freaks people out.
You know what's interesting is there's another angle on this as well that I just thought of, which is that it's not just the submersible, it's not just the billionaires, it's the Titanic, right? Like it is unto itself. It is someone said it was like, oh great, let's all go to the bottom of the sea and look at a mass grave. I mean, there is a mystery and a mystique and a sort of a legend around that whole concept. And this is a perfect example that we haven't learned anything in God knows how many years, right? It's an unsinkable ship. Years. It sinks. It's an unsinkable submersible, and it implodes.
Wait, an unsinkable sub would be really weird.
That would be you know what I'd call that? I'd call that an airplane. Yeah, it's yes, maybe not an unsinkable sub, an uncrushable sub. Yes, that what is it? Grotesquely safe sub is not in fact safe at all. Obscenely.
Yeah.
I don't imagine they're ever going to figure out what it was, right? I can't imagine they can pull together.
Oh,
you think?
I bet they'll find this. Like,
here's my question: 8 hours before they announced that it was lost? What was the deal on that?
That was how long the trip was supposed to take.
Oh.
So it's going to.
I heard on the news. I heard it was new out. I heard that it took them 8 hours to report that it was missing. That was what the BBC seemed to think. So you're saying that that's not the case. It was just that it was an 8-hour tour.
Oh, okay. Let me make sure. I know that the trip, the experience takes 8 hours. So that's why they have a bathroom there, but they suggest you not eat, like so many hours before, because who wants to be in that little, you're not going to make many friends in that sub taking a dump. So.
Well, that's what my son said. Actually, he's like, "What do you do for a bathroom?" But they must, if you're there for 8 hours, they must have. There's a little privy.
Yeah, but it's only got like a little black curtain that you pull across.
Here's the weird thing. I can talk about it in general. I can't get in that sub in my head because it's too miserable. It's such a horrible,
My hands
horrible.
start to tinkle.
Yeah,
Tingle, not tinkle. My hands are not tinkling.
He's tinkling.
Everybody-
He's tinkling as we speak, folks. Yeah, I mean, again, let's go with the concept rather than the specifics, because I'll turn into a blubbering idiot. But I feel like someone said it really nicely here. Vance Bellin said unsinkable. Unsinkable stuff happened is the wrong one. Sorry, you're brilliant too, Ivan. But there was one up here that I really liked. Where is it?
James Gurney said it was 6,000 pounds per square inch, so it's 3 tons.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Of pressure per square inch.
Insane. That really is. Yeah. Sorry, it was Star Arrays said, "Yep, the Titanic mystery and a sub that follows the same fate." There's a certain irony.
Yep.
I choose not to believe that people don't care about all the other horrific mass deaths around the world. I just think that this one hits on a number of different things that people were, I think, that speak to a number of people's fears, and there's almost a poetic quality to this. There's almost like I feel like there'll be sea shanties about this. It's like you know what I mean? It's almost it's almost like a warning. Yet again, another warning. You know what I mean?
It kind of feels like Looper, that movie. Did you ever watch Looper?
Oh yeah, it's great.
Like, because they go, the Titanic, unsinkable, and everybody felt it had to obviously be unsinkable because these super rich guys whose intellect equals money, right? Obviously, it's their equivalent. So if they can trust it, and then now these guys are billionaires taking this same thing down to look at the spectacle of that thing. It's irony rolled in irony.
It really is. Yeah, it's like it's an Alanis Morissette song, only accurate. Yeah, I feel like, you know what this feels like to me? It feels like the Challenger accident.
I was in school. Oh,
yeah,
you
me
weren't
too.
there, were you?
Me too. Yeah.
Wait, were you?
Well, I was supposed to be at school, but I think I was. I seem to remember them wheeling out a television to watch the news broadcast about it. But basically, it was the first sort of science-based, big science-based tragedy that I was aware of as a kid. I can't think, maybe there were other ones and I'm just an idiot, but that was one that stood out to me as a kid. It really, all of a sudden it's like, wow, this is real. This isn't just people going to space and floating around and coming back. It's actually really freaking dangerous. And this, I mean, I feel like this is, you see there's so many Disney movies and Nat Geo things about going down to the Titanic and floating around, and James Cameron sailing around and stuff and things. And I think I think we've become kind of blasé about this. Perfect other example of this. I'm going to make a total jump here. Childbirth. Childbirth is crazy freaking dangerous. That's the reason why so many people died, was because there weren't hospitals, there weren't antibiotics, there weren't, trained medical staff and equipment to save people. You know what I mean? So I think there's a tendency for us to get blasé about these things without really being aware of the true. I think as a species we suck at risk assessment. That's what I think.
We suck at learning too.
Yeah.
I don't think people as a whole can learn from their history. I don't think it's possible. I think they have to do it over and over and over again.
Yeah. What do they say? If you don't learn from history, you repeat it. You're doomed to repeat it. Well, we just repeat it. I mean, and I guess that's part of that's part of our struggle with Ukraine right now, is that we're like we don't want to repeat Poland. And we don't want the Nazis Hitler moving into Poland. The invasion of Poland was like sort of, that's it. The last straw type thing. Or wasn't though, was it? Was Poland the final straw for? What was the final straw for? What got Britain into what began?
Britain? I don't know. They were
in before the U.S. for sure.
Yeah, I mean they were right there.
Yeah, blame. Bite Me, I'm Klingon watched Idiocracy last night. It's
perfect.
Yeah, he says it's a bit dated language, but it's still relevant. What could someone let me know? I again, being another class I failed in school was history. I know that I know that Pearl Harbor is what dragged America into it. But I'd be curious to know what it was. Was it the invasion of Poland that triggered it? Anyways,
did you know Russia and Germany actually kind of worked together, and they couldn't decide how they were going to divide up Poland, and that's why Russia ended up on the Ally side?
Really?
Weird, right?
I mean, looking back, I will say this. I've said this before. All Quiet on the Western Front, one of the most brilliant recent movies or remakes. Like, stunning film, stunning. And there's a wonderful scene there where they're basically randomly carving up the world in a fancy car with cold croissants. You know what I mean? Like, it was while people were dying on them. Oh, have you seen that film? Have you seen that?
I have not.
Lance, you're a grave disappointment to me. You've got to. That is literally one of my favorite movies of all time now. Of all time, that has jumped to near that's like with Fitzcarraldo and Indiana Jones and Star Wars and The Thing and Evil Dead 2. Like, it's way up there, way up there. Yeah,
when you said Thing, like John Carpenter's
The Thing,
oh
yeah. So that's that's how good. It's a long one though, so do your peeing before and then, because it's a long and it's grim, buddy. It's like you're gonna be a sobbing wet.
Well, I know how it turned out. So
yes,
dude, Otto got me right in the feels.
What got me?
Uppercut to the feels. Otto, A Man Called Otto.
What's that?
Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Mud. Did you watch it?
No, it looked kind of like saccharine sweet. Is it not? Is it good?
Oh no, it's not saccharine sweet for sure.
Oh, wait a sec. But of course, yeah. But you have terrible taste in TV and film, though.
Well, no. This is definitely okay. Well, Goonies.
Lance and I have definitely we've diverged on our taste in movies.
Well, the reason this is though, and I'm fine with this.
Yeah.
You've been in the business, so you
I'm
know.
Jaded. I'm a jaded horrible. I'm a jaded horrible person.
You might be a contrarian.
I think I am a contrarian. I am. You know what?
Everybody else likes it. The Hewlett.
I know. I think that might be part of it for me. Like, I think if you tell me to do something, I immediately want to do the opposite or do whatever you told me not to do. Cold Brew Science 2023. That is a great name, Pac Bomb. It's true.
That is good.
And hello to Cold Brew Science 2023. Man Called Otto was a good film. Okay, Miss Lintz. All right, fine. I watched a good horror film. If you want one, it is a Jewish possession movie, and it's called Attachment. It's pretty fun.
Did you watch this before or after your invasive surgery?
This was after my invasive surgery, and I've got to tell you,
you're living on the edge.
The ending, always with horror movies, is tough. They did have to do some explaining near the end, and it struggles at that point a bit, but it's still, I gotta say, thumbs up from me. Absolutely, yeah. So definitely, if you want a good horror movie, one that I do not understand at all, that got 5 red skulls from everybody on Shudder, and I'm really not sure I'm going to get through it, is one called The Sadness, which is this.
That doesn't sound scary. It sounds sad.
It's horrific. Like, it is just, it's almost like they've gone out of their way to offend everybody in every possible way. I'm not sure I'm going to get through it. It made me feel a bit ill. Like, amazing, horrible, like, gory effects and stuff, which I get a good laugh out of some crazy gore stuff once in a while. But this just gets it just feels a bit, I don't know.
Do you think, like, right now you could watch Humana Centipede, or is that just too close to home now?
I have no idea what that movie's about, but I feel like I don't want to know. So I
think they connected a bunch of people butt to mouth.
Oh, is
made
that
like a long, yeah.
Yeah, I don't. It didn't seem like.
Oh, spoilers!
It seemed like torture porn to me. It's that those weird kind of like.
I hate that.
Yeah, I don't like that either. And I felt like The Sadness turned into that pretty quickly too. And then it does that, and then it goes even further. Like, I'm not easily. No, I am. I think I am easily offended now.
I'm not easily offended.
I never
at all.
used to be. Certain things offend me. Certain things I find stand out for me, and but violence is not usually one of them. I'm afraid of horror. My horror films, I'm usually like, whatever. I don't want to watch people being tortured and killed. I don't want to see that.
No, me either.
Don't need to. I don't care. You know, I understand a little bit of it to get a sense of a story or whatever, but to glorify it like it does in The Sadness, I found too much. You know,
when we were pretty young when this came out, Death Wish.
Oh yeah.
The very first part of that movie, I'm like, oh my god.
Didn't they all start with rapes? They like all started with rapes and murders. Always.
I almost can't look at Jeff Goldblum still.
Well, because they're written by white guys who can't think of anything worse than someone getting raped, and like that's the way to show that they're bad people. It was a weird. My son pointed this out to me because we were watching old '80s movies, and he's like, "Why do the bad guys always have to rape people in the first?" I'm like, "Oh my god, you're right," because it's kind of it was this weird sort of almost like titillating kind of violence and this weird combining of sex and violence that was so prevalent in the 80s and early 90s, and it's to a kid like Baz now, he's like, what the hell? And I'm like, and looking at it through his eyes, I'm now like, what the hell? Like that's freaking wrong. No wonder we got so many problems.
How are you gonna do this? Yeah, you're not gonna make a good bad guy that at the end of the movie you see get thrown off the building and splat on the ground, and you go like, yay, because he like, I don't know, misgendered somebody or
I mean, it's not no that like
you gotta make him evil.
This I understand there's a historical quote unquote context to a lot of this stuff. I mean, someone raised a really good point about Cube the other day where they were saying they were saying like there's a character in Cube who is on the spectrum, and
really?
but again, it was like their complaint was like, classic movie trope of no, not me. Classic movie trope of the brilliant idiot, right? As a concept for mental for autism, you know. And I was like, it's so funny because I understand their perspective looking at it now, but back then, it was actually quite progressive to have a character with those kind of abilities in the movie. Like people just didn't include those kind of characters, certainly in the stuff that was coming out of Canada at the time anyways. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not without a story, you know, not without a heartwarming story about someone with disabilities, some kind of like a, you know, disability porn type thing. You know what I mean? Like,
right. But if you have an ability,
go ahead. No, go.
Well, my thing is though, those people are saying tropes. Oh, they need to go to the area where software programming is happening and all these engineers who are on the spectrum. If that's a thing, if you're at one part of the spectrum, it makes you fantastically good at focusing on one thing and being obsessed with that one thing for a very long time. And there are literally people who hire, you know, what do they call those guys? Headhunters? And they're looking for that.
Yeah.
They literally, if you get them off camera,
obsessive puzzle solvers and mathematicians.
They're looking. They literally said they're looking for spectrum people on the spectrum.
That makes sense
because they don't even. They can like sleep under their table and never. You know, you give them snacks and let them go.
Well, we were talking about you know, about space and ocean exploration and like and the first person. The idea of like just, you know, throwing on a you know what are they called, the Vision Pros and piloting it, you know, and then Lance is piloting the next Mars mission and stuff.
Right.
Like, why the hell not? You know, it's better than a freaking like what was happening in that Japanese cafe where they're like, oh great, let's give people with disabilities like a freaking waiting job. They can they can control the robots. Like you pointed, I was like, oh, that's so cool, and you're the one who goes like, you're a freaking waiter. I'm like, oh god, yeah, I guess that's a good point. You know, I just thought from a social standpoint, it might be nice to sort of be able to interact with people in a fun way. But of course, I hadn't. You know, I'm an Abe. Damn dirty Abe.
I would get fired from the Walmart greeting thing, like.
Yeah, it's true.
Really quickly, because I'd be like, 2 words, less meth. Like, you know, everybody coming through, I'd be like, diagnosing their entire personality.
Well, that's so funny because, you know, Jane and I used to go to the mall in Bellingham when we lived in
And
Point
make fun of
Roberts.
people?
Well, it's funny, and I'd be like, is it just me, or does this seem like a strange bunch of people? And Jane pointed out that we're at a mall in a weekday in the middle of the day.
Ooh.
Who else is like? Of course, it's a lot of a high percentage of odd people because they're not at jobs, they're not at home, they're not. You know what I mean? Like this. So there's obviously you're gonna have a higher quotient of maybe non-typical people. I don't want to say. I mean whatever. But I don't know how to be polite about that. But let's just say there was just I was not the only weird person at that mall at that time of day.
Yeah,
characters, exactly. Damn dirty Abe! I gotta love that. I want that on a T-shirt.
Well, we do. Need that
speaking of T-shirts, that has nothing to do with T-shirts. No, there's one thing I want to talk about before that. Come on. It was brilliant.
You said damn dirty Abe.
Damn dirty Abe. But before that, we were talking about something.
You were at the mall.
No, before that.
People.
Before the mall.
Before the mall?
Yeah, it was before the mall. It was good. It was really good.
So we were talking about everybody getting raped.
No, no.
At the beginning of shows.
Beginning of movies, yeah. Okay.
That's too far.
There's the movie.
That's too far back.
There's the movie. And then there's somewhere in there. There was something cool in there somewhere.
I'm sure.
Don't remember.
I cut you off too. I did.
I talked about the cube thing.
Out.
I talked about the cube thing, about people having complaints with the cube thing. The historical element, the fact that we have to keep in mind when it doesn't excuse them, but at least you need to have that as a perspective going. Like I worry that, are you going to go back 50 years and start nailing people for using the wrong terminology that didn't exist then? You know what I mean? Like I feel like you want to be
right.
Wants to be careful about that. And now I can't remember what it was, but it was something brilliant for sure. But no, get this. So this is it. So I got myself a Shopify account, and I gotta say, Shopify does a pretty good job of making this stuff fairly easy. I think I'm about to start. I think I'm about to be able to start shipping out the coins.
No.
I think I've got it. Yeah. So, but what I want to do is this. Have I sent you one yet? I haven't, right?
No.
Good.
Well,
because
I
want to use you as a test. I'm going to pack it. This is the plan. We'll see what happens. I had these little bubble packs and things I was going to use, and I looked into it. And then I started looking at
Captain, good call.
What was that? This is so exciting.
Lance game face shirts.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, you should totally do that.
I have something I can't even tell you online.
What?
It's about Game Face, and it's so awesome that it's ridiculous. But I can't do it online. I'm so sorry.
Will you tell me?
I shouldn't have dropped it.
You can tell me.
Tell David.
You can tell me.
Well, I shouldn't. I shouldn't. You know what?
Damn it! I've just become part of the Abes you know. These are the Abes I know. I know.
Somebody should clip this. I definitely wouldn't talk about what I learned yesterday about Google to David, my friend. Okay, now we'll talk about it later.
Okay, great.
So,
bubble envelope. So I was gonna send. I sent bubble-opes. So I sent Dr. Professor Doc Prof Gurney his coin in one of these. Right. Right. Okay. Cool. And I thought that seems like cool because it's padded and all that kind of stuff. Not cheap to send.
Really?
Not particularly cheap. Not more than I thought it would be. I don't remember what it was, but I remember going like, really? Okay, no, fine. Obviously James is worth it. It was worth triple that amount, but I was still surprised at how much it was.
Upwards to $5.
Exactly. Oh yeah. Then I heard on my Reddits that it's better to send things in a regular envelope if you can. But you can't send a coin like this, a beautiful coin like this, in an envelope. You have to secure it, and
sacrilege.
You have to stop it from sliding around so it doesn't eat up machines. And then I found all this cardboard I have for my comic books. I'm going to hot glue this into this little fold like this. And then I'm going to put it in an envelope like this. I'm going to include a letter of authenticity, Lance. Not for you. You know it's for me. But for paying customers, Lance, I'm going to put it up a letter of authenticity that I will sign. And then I will ship them off like that in a regular little envelope. That's my plan. And I'm going to send one to you to see how much that costs, because then I know how much it costs to America. I'm going to send one to Cal, because then I know how much it costs to send to Mussels and Fries, Belgium. And then I'm going to send one to Jack Jasra, and then I can see what it costs to send to Germany. Is that right? I guess it is Germany, isn't it?
Well,
I think he's in
didn't
Germany.
we determine that your time is worth something like
$1 billion a minute?
Like $800 an hour, maybe on Cameo, maybe more, maybe grand.
Oh, Cameo. Are you starting on Cameo again? No, I have to...
Well, no. My point is, you point out the bubble opes are too expensive, and then you go, I'll just take my David Hewlett time, which is infinite, I guess, and do this special thing, which that time is valuable.
I never think of my own time in these things.
Right. And
God, that makes me feel like such an idiot. Thanks, Lance.
Not really.
No, it's a good point though. Like I think that's something that a lot of us don't. X Sniper, thank you very much. At least it's an X Sniper, otherwise I'd be worried. That is a really good point. I was just trying to keep the shipping costs down because I'll tell you what, I set it up. I hope it works. And if there are problems, I mean, you just gonna have to forgive me if that's the case. I might even. Should I just put the link in the? Should we just see what happens? I mean, I think it's set up.
Yeah.
Should I just go live with it?
Sure. That'd be cool.
We'll see if it actually works.
Well, yeah, somebody, and feel free to try to overpower the servers with orders.
God, no! Please don't!
Make
Please
this
don't!
A test.
Please don't! It'll crush like. No, I can't say crush. I gotta stop saying crush. It's too soon.
Too soon?
This is the problem. Is I got the foot in mouth disease. Where everything I say is going to be the wrong thing. Okay, so this is I don't think there's even links out anywhere else to this, but I would love to see if this works. So here we go.
No, so people can go on and order the TechBandit coin that only super world-class people such as James Gurney and myself have received.
This is the lowest of the low. Only the lowest of the low have received this coin. This coin drops to the lowest possible point in society. And the first person it hit was not Lance, weirdly. It was me. It was me. You got hit me a lot. Hit me a lot.
Okay, yeah.
So the suggested price, which I'm not entirely comfortable with, I've got to be honest.
No, we're there. We're totally comfortable.
Was $50.
It's a value at this price.
But here was my issue. You click on add to cart. All right. You open your cart and then you go ahead. You say, okay, great. I'm going to order my Stargate coin. I'm going through it right now on my little thing. Click on it.
Okay.
Then it says shipping. Okay.
Yes.
To me, continue to shipping. Here we go. $15? Doesn't that seem like a lot of money to you?
I mean, if you really are, how do I say this? If you're really tore up by that, then say $50 shipping handling, so do 35, and then knowing that they're going to scroll down and hit $15. But I really, people shop online a lot.
I know, but you don't normally. I'm not used to getting shipping costs like that. That seems insane to me.
They're probably handling it like crazy too, right? That's a joke.
I missed that. What was that?
And handling.
Oh, I see the handling part. I got it. I've got to admit, you're well ahead of me on that one. It could just be the anesthetic wearing off. So that's where my conundrum right now is. I go like, if I'm thinking I'm going to help this guy out by buying one of his silly coins, $50 seems like a lot of money, and then then go plus $15 in shipping, which of course doesn't go to me. It goes to the shipping company. But so I thought, could I figure out a way of packaging it in these things and finding out how much they cost? But you raise a really good point. If I have to spend hours trying to figure out where things are going and having each one of them separately, does anyone have a solution to this?
Yeah, just do the Shopify thing and see how it goes.
I have bras being sent from Ireland for just $7.99.
Well,
Wait a sec,
It
Pac Mom.
turns
You
out
mean so you're saying that the
that
shipping
people
cost
don't.
is $7.99? They're doing drop shipping, probably. This is my guess. That kind of stuff.
Well, and it turns out
Oh,
there's some
Nixie Geek.
freakos
Nixie
out
Geek.
there that
Apparently,
like
Nixie
to.
Geek. Nixie Geek's got a
Yeah.
solution for us. Apparently, what does it say? Nixie Geek.
Okay.
Is it because it's
Nixie
metal?
Geek.
You could look into cardboard
It's
jewelry
coming out
packaging.
of Canada. That
So-
might be a problem right there.
The cardboard, I thought I could put the cardboard around it to protect it. Not so much to protect the coin, but to protect the envelope. Because what will get me in trouble is if this can't be machine readable, right? So with the cardboard, it should go through the machine, or I could write not machine. Anyways, what I'm going to do maybe before I start taking, well, I don't know.
No, dude, just try it. You're thinking about too much.
Okay, so do it, but do I just include shipping? Or just see if people are willing to pay the shipping?
Did you say there's going to be a personal? You can't do a personal letter this other way then, right?
It won't be personal, but it'll be a letter of. I thought it would be a letter of authenticity that just says this confirms that this is mine. It's one of the first 200 made, and I'll sign it. Is what I thought.
Or the only 200 made in this style.
Yeah.
Right.
Now here's the next thing: is do I stick to the 200, or do I ask them to do some more of them? Because they can also do. They could do another run for me if I wanted to. Is there a value to that, or just have them on the go? I just thought maybe they're just something we just have on the go all the time, and then maybe we could do limited edition ones later or whatever. I don't know. I want to do smaller ones too because I think they'd be less unwieldy. I love these ones because they're big. Like these are big, chunky. You know, like it's a nice weight. It's fun to have in your hand. It's like I like this weight, but I'm a little worried that they might be a bit big from the. You know, and also a bit expensive for. I also want to release a whole bunch of really cheap ones that people can put into geocaching, which would be fun.
Can I tell you? I have come up with a brilliant idea.
What have you got? Bring it on.
Like just seeing you doing this, okay? All these card games. If you
Coin games.
I Flip Flop Warriors or something like that. I don't know what it's called yet, but you roll. You get certain coins. You throw them into I would say a padded cup, like a Yahtzee cup that's got like some felt in it so it doesn't drive everybody nuts crazy. And then you put your hand on it, shake it, flop it down on the table. You look at how you came up. We come up with some kind of.
You want like a game? Yeah, that's. I mean, I wondered about doing. Could you do like instead of doing coins, could you do little square cards that have?
No, screw that. Do a coin-based game.
Or a coin. Well, it would be a coin-based game, but I'm just saying you could have different shapes and sizes to the coins as well.
Well, I hear you.
You hear me?
That would be expensive.
But it's stupid. Yeah.
No.
I hear you, but it's a stupid idea. Got it.
Sounds like what you want to like when you
like
make
Pogs.
them short and
Like
flat and
Pogs.
rectangular.
Yeah, like
There you
Pogs.
go.
Pogs. Yeah.
Except I don't want it to be a physical game. I want it to be like a Dungeons and Dragons. Like
so do I.
Defense.
Yep.
Yeah, this much defense, and what you're rolling to see if you strike.
When Baz and I were kids,
I have this written down. But go ahead. When you and Baz were kids.
When Baz and I were kids, and I'm still a kid. He's grown up now. We came up with this idea of a game called Astronauts and Aliens. And we wanted to do a series, a card series of games, card-based games like Magic the Gathering, and would have different types of extraterrestrials, and then there would be astronauts that were like humans, and then there were non-humans, and then there were. And I even wrote out a whole list of different possible. Like there was a tree world, there was a silicone world, there was a wolf world, there was also like just lots of different ideas, and the idea was that each world had a certain resource that it used to power itself, and your job was to go around the universe taking over other people's basically just like it was like a universe invasion game. Basically was the idea.
Gotcha.
So you like that?
I like it.
Yeah.
We were talking about like ships and
maybe
like
could you do that with coins, do you think?
Well, I would say so. I've got some notes like you do written down for a coin-based game.
Oh, you do? Oh, great. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Like, and like how you, like, just your, like, you've got how do I say this? Well, it would just be like one side of the coin would be ×2, damage ×2, or something like that.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
Wait a second. Is there a way, is this madness? Does this way madness lie? But what if we tied this into the escape room thing? What if it was an escape room game on coins?
Ooh.
Like it had puzzles, or maybe it has arrows, or maybe it has, like, maybe there's a way to do, that could be neat.
It could be. I like it.
You could have traps.
The way it's integrated. But
there could be traps with it. What if they were coins with a QR code on the back? You hit the QR code, it tells you what the coin does. And you could change what that QR does depending on who they are and what they want to play and things.
Well, I like the, okay. So a certain feature of the coin could be repurposed, but I like the idea of you really want to draw, when you're buying your coins, because you don't know what you're going to get, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're buying I figured they would come in a little treasure chest, like booty, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And you open it up and who knows? Do I have a Hewlett? That kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I got a Gimpy G. Or I got a Prof Doctor. A Prof Dr. Phage. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Prof Dr. Phage. Wouldn't that be great? I'd go for
get plus 20 to intelligence.
Yeah, and one ring to bind them all. It's worth $1 million.
And well, of course, you do get a negative 32 charisma with the Prof Doctor.
Jonathan MLH, no. There's no NFC tag memory in these things. There were two concerns I had. One is I didn't want people to think we were tracking them. But I did wonder, and I'm not going to make any promises, but I'm looking at my CNC to see if there's a way of maybe customizing some of them so they are truly one of a kind, if that makes sense.
So you're going to CNCC?
Well, with a code, CNCC. Well, I'm going to go see. I'm going to CNCC. I'm going to CNC about the C. I'm going to CNC the CNC. Like mystery packages, yes. I like it done with coins. I do like the idea. I too, Lance, think that the coin-based game is a great idea. The question is, can it be a self-contained game?
Yes. Here's
the thing is, I have found that my many interests, loves, passions, obsessions, tend to take me in a million different directions. So if there's any way I could then redirect it back into what is important to me and to us.
You're already doing.
Which I think is escape room stuff. You could have aliens versus astronauts. Is there a way to add maybe some kind of a puzzling escape room motif to it somehow? Or maybe not. I mean, maybe it's a completely different thing that doesn't work. I still love the idea of coins. I just love the idea. One of the things I can't stand about the cards is that they're so destructible. They're so easy to scratch.
Right.
Or as soon as you take them out of the package, the oil from your skin degrades the. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I'm struggling with this as well with comic books as well, where I'm like, oh, for God's sake, could we stop collecting things and start reading them again? Like kids are supposed to read comic books. They're not supposed to collect them. They're supposed to play cards, not collect them.
My comics look like tacos.
Do they?
A little bit. Like, because they were laying down in a comic book box and then went through, I don't know if it was steam or from the fire,
Yeah.
But there's no damage in that direction. No smoke damage, but they're kind of like chalupa or taco shape.
You could probably put weights on them and bring them back to shape.
I was thinking put them the opposite way for a while and see if that worked too.
Yeah, I've done that before. I mean, but here's the thing. I don't believe, well, I don't know about you, but from my perspective, there's no comic book I own that is in good enough condition to be a true collector's item. You know what I mean? Like there's like a level, there's like amateur collection where you're putting it in a plastic bag and a card, like I do.
Okay. Yeah.
And then there's like special acid-free paper and this and that, and no sunlight has ever touched this, no hands have touched this, only gloved hands. And that's where we're at with Magic the Gathering cards and Pokemon cards now, and that drives me nuts. It makes me want to start a cafe that has all of my comic books for people just to read and destroy, and has all of the cards for people just to play with. Because
just tell them this comic book has already had a booger on it, so you do what you want.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? I sneezed while reading this. You're there already. I have way too many comic books, and I quit collecting like 25 years ago. There you go, wormhole. So some of them, the problem is everyone thinks they're going to be worth something, and some of them are, I'm sure. But
I got some goodies.
I got a couple of goodies too. I have that original run of Sandman and stuff, which is, I'm sure. But again, I would rather people read it in, I don't know, whatever.
No, I'm with you. I've got the Marvel Unlimited.
It's the Manga Cafe.
Ooh.
You know what I did at the Baz? So Baz's comic book store is closing down, unfortunately. Like our local comic book store.
Sad.
I know, it sucks because they're pulling because the train's coming through. He's literally being kicked out because there's a train route going.
Oh my God, we got an eminent domain thing happening.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
Shouldn't you get a shotgun and go stand in front?
Damn
of it,
right.
Maybe chain yourself to it.
Yeah, I don't care that much, but yeah. You know, Baz is quite eager to move on to another job. I think at this point, he's got a job with the city this year. My son is going to earn more this if this strike keeps going the way it's going, and I don't get myself sorted out with some kind of money. My son will be earning more than I do this summer, or my wife combined, for that matter. No, my wife, at least she does the teaching, so she's got some money coming in. I miss going to comic shops. Yeah, me too. I love comic book shops, but they need to have.
I did too.
All comic book shops should have a coffee shop as well. You want to go? You don't go just to walk around looking at comic books. I mean, some people do. You want to be able to socialize. You want to be able to kick back and read the comic book, discuss it with your friends. Like, it needs to be a social community event. That's what I think.
True. Well, and there's nothing better than who would win in a fight, Tarzan or Batman.
Exactly. And you know it's Batman.
You lying sack of poop. Are you talking about actual Lord Greystoke from the Edgar Rice Burroughs?
Whatever. He was old.
Whatever.
Batman's got freaking he's got gadgets. And he's tough. Dude,
Tarzan killed a lion with nothing but a knife and a rope.
Yeah, well, Batman would put it to sleep with one of his little darts in a second anyways. And it wouldn't even be dead. It would be alive.
Joker would even laugh a little bit, and Tarzan would give him the back of his hand.
Yeah.
So,
except, no, it's not. I go, dog.
Okay.
Huzzah. No,
Let's call it a tie.
I'm not calling it a tie. Screw that. Batman would kick his ass. What are you talking about? It's like, he can't even talk.
Batman doesn't have superpowers. And
Batman has superpowers, sort of, that he made himself.
No. Lord Greystoke is rich and can speak well and is well written.
Well, so's Batman's rich too.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The Tarzan that you're thinking of, Johnny Weissmuller, that's not the Tarzan of the books.
No, I know. Wasn't that the stuff that Bernie Wrightson was drawing for? Or was that Conan? No, I guess he drew Conan, didn't he? One of my favorite artists. One of my favorite artists, a guy called Bernie Wrightson. Yeah, Edgar Rice Burroughs. So the guy who did all the drawings on a lot of those is this guy called, I think it was him. I should think before I start saying this. Hey, wait a second. What did we decide about the coins?
I love it.
What did we do? So what are we doing?
Go back.
Okay, so
put the coins up for sale. Try it. Go ahead. Let's do
wait a second. But with shipping? With shipping attached?
With shipping. Just like, what do you feel comfortable with? I would ask you what you know.
To me, I feel like shipping should be like $5-6. It shouldn't be 15.
Well, okay.
I mean, this is Canadian. Keep in mind, this is Canadian money. So it's probably $10. It's probably more like $8-9, maybe $10 American, I suppose. But
okay, just go for it, dude.
But I don't want to put it. Here's my thing. This is the other thing I don't want to do. I don't want to put it up now, have people spend the money, and then I go, oh, you know what? This is way too expensive. I should make it cheaper for people. You know what I mean?
Okay, but then why can you now buy games like a Diablo? You could get a 2-day jump on everybody, and it costs you like $30. So you're letting people have this coin before anybody else. They can brag to their friends.
What if I just say shipping is included? Oh, what if I say if you buy 2 coins, you get free shipping? Because there's some kind of a feature in the Shopify that does that. So that I could at least do that.
Let's do that.
But then they've spent $100, and they shouldn't have to pay shipping on that.
Well, but not real money, Canadian money, right? So
Canadian money. That's true. That's so true.
75.
This is Canadian. It is true. I forgot about that. But I don't understand what they're using for shipping. I'm worried that I've put in the wrong dimensions for shipping or something, so that I'm worried that I haven't put in the sleekest dimensions for shipping. Okay, you could lower it to 40 or 45 if it really makes you uncomfortable. Then with shipping, it'll be lower. No, I get that, but the issue is I go like, but then I want people to spend money on TechBandits. I don't want them to spend it on shipping. You know what I mean?
Well, look, that's part of
Like,
life, dude.
no,
I,
I
I
know. But no, but I
yeah,
mean, like, so what I'm saying is I don't want to reduce the price so that I can, so that the shipping companies can make the money, if that makes
let's
sense.
find out. I get it, but there's that's what they're set up for. They're to
Uh,
keep you from having to do all this. What if? Okay, how about right now? The test is it's $35, so they're getting it at a super cheap price, and then 50 with shipping, right? So you make the cost 35, make the, and then they can ship.
Here's what I
Yeah,
think I should do.
yeah.
I think I should do my test mailings just to see if I can do it with something like this that keeps the prices.
There's only 92 people here.
Yeah.
So, are you going to be losing money at 35?
No, I don't think I'll lose money. No, not at all.
Well, those people at the shipping places, they have children too, David. They need to eat.
But then that means that the
They're probably
coin.
orphans.
But think about it. That means the coin would be 35 or whatever we said,
Yeah.
and you're spending 15 on shipping. That
Have you
seems
seen
insane
with the
to me.
kids? They'll buy some little stupid bauble from a vending machine in Tokyo, because like you can only get these Pokemon balls out of Tokyo. So it's like a $5 thing, and it's $10 shipping. So there's literally a lot of people spending more on shipping than the actual object.
Pac Mom says cameos would be easier.
It's true.
All right. Well, so I'll just go live with it as it is, and we'll see what happens. Do that because I guess because people are saying it's the cost of doing business. Etsy and eBay, everyone pays crazy shipping costs.
Everybody understands this.
I've literally had $20 or $30 added for shipping on Etsy. 15 is 30% of 50. I spend that much tip at a restaurant. Wow, I want to go out for dinner with.
There you go.
I want to go out with Sci-Fi Gal. All right, so
you don't want to go out with you. She doesn't know how you eat.
It's true, Captain Catherine.
Do you remember when Red Lobster had to stop serving crab that one year because they had limitless crab?
What?
Hewlett. You're the one that ruined it.
It's probably me. There's always one. There's always one. Okay, I'm putting the link in the thing now. Look, there may be problems. So, as I say, because I'm not sure I've worked everything out with this Spotify thing, so bear with me. And I will put this link up, and I hope to have your coin to you in some way, shape, or form as soon as I can. Wait a second, how does this work?
I'm telling people. It's going to be great.
All right, okay. Well, I'm just suddenly thinking,
cutting edge.
If it's including shipping, is that because it's working out shipping so that I get compensated for the shipping that I've done?
No.
No, because it's not doing the shipping for me. So it must be sending me the money that it's worked out at costs for the shipping.
Oh.
Right?
But you're still doing all the work?
But I'm still doing all the work. Yeah.
What the hell are you doing?
I know. I'm doing something wrong, aren't I?
That's why I was telling you, fulfillment. You just send your coin.
Yeah, but then you gotta figure that out, and that's just a whole other world of hurt too, right?
I got destroyed on paintings.
Did you?
I got 150 sets of 4 paintings that were printed out like just off the sweetest printers.
Yeah,
professional.
Yeah,
it's beautiful. And I even went on national television.
Yeah.
And showed them.
Yeah.
Not much.
And people hated them that much?
Like I sold like 10 sets.
Did it pay for it? Did that pay for the whole run?
No.
Oh, really? So how many you got left?
I spent $25,000.
But you're famous now. $25,000? Who talked you into that?
No, nobody talked me into anything. I made them, right? And like the local library and the local museum wanted them.
Oh, wait a second. How long ago was this?
2008.
Oh, so we weren't really into the printing and selling on the internet that much, right?
No, I was on the cusp.
Yeah.
I sent all of them to a place called Fort Collins, Colorado.
Yeah.
And they have like a big warehouse where they kept everything.
Yeah.
And then as orders came in, they would, ship them. And then, I'd get like an email and all that.
So you had a fulfillment house doing that for you.
Right.
Well, of course, because you're not going to be freaking putting them in envelopes.
Right.
Yeah, good point. I mean,
mostly because I value my time more than.
I mean, look, the idea in an ideal world, is that I feel that I value my time as much as you do. Your own time. But no, in an ideal world, I'd love to just send it to freaking Amazon and have it on Amazon, because that's something that everyone can use and everyone knows. But some people hate Amazon too. So I was going to use Etsy, but Etsy just seemed like it was a sea of confusing things. So I just thought, you know what?
Yeah.
Spotify, have a page on my own website for it and go that route.
Wait, Spotify?
Oh, Pac-Man dumped Twitter.
Wait, what happened?
Well, Pac-Mum has dumped Twitter. She's gone bye-bye to Twitter.
No.
I haven't been on it for a long time, but I'm on, like, I'll post things, but I've forced myself to stop looking at it, because I just get triggered every single time about something. You know?
I do, but then I catch myself.
Really?
But they really are trying to piss me off.
You think they are?
I can see it. Oh yeah, everything off to the sides, like, rather than new science or anything like that, it's like, oh look, Elon Musk just called everybody cabbage heads, theoretically.
Well, that's my thing is, it's been amazing though. Like, I've had conversations with friends and they've said, oh, about this, and I'm like, what? What's that? And they're like until it hits the news now, I don't know about it. And there's something kind of refreshing about that, I gotta say. Am I putting this? What am I doing?
Shopify, not Spotify. That's what we're doing.
What if I just go $50 as it is, and then whatever the shipping is? But then people in Australia, it costs more to ship to than it does. I suddenly find myself in.
Suck it up, Buttercup.
Suck it up, Buttercup. Love it. All right, it's going out. I'm sending it out. Here goes. Here we go. My finger is hovering over the. It's going to be $50 plus shipping, unless you buy 2, and then the shipping's included. I think that's how it should work, the way it is right now. There's like a code you have to put in though. Here, ready? 3, 2. Are we sure? We're sure, right? We're definitely sure we're going to. Now I'm just teasing. All right, here goes. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Yeah.
Do I see it? There it is.
That's it.
Now, I have a feeling this is going to be like Price is Right. When the person loses, and they go, wah, wah, wah.
Well, this is where it's going to go. It's going to be like, look, I've done what I've literally just done it with the simplest approach possible. I will try to streamline things as we go, but I would love this to work, because frankly, I would also love to do coin games, and I'd love to just do coins. I love coins. Who throws a coin out? No one throws a coin out.
No one.
No one.
And you could kill a guy with one of your coins.
It's true.
A little Windex, that thing's still sellable.
I mean, I can't wait for the stories to come in about people who's had, assassination attempts bounced off of their giant TechBandits coin, right? That's what I'm excited about.
Like Teddy Roosevelt.
Exactly.
I was giving a speech in my TechBandits.
Or maybe you could scratch one side of it and become Two-Face.
Right? Ooh.
It's true.
You know what's weird? We took so long making that decision. You had 106 people in chat that would be playing.
Did we?
And then you pulled the trigger when you got sucked.
Then I got sucked in, I pulled the trigger, and then everyone left.
No.
Maybe they left to buy the coin.
Oh.
Maybe that was a mass exodus to go and buy coins.
We're up to 84 now. We're back in.
We're back.
Coming back.
Well, no, I've got, according to this, I have 74. I don't care. It's as long as I've got Gimpy G and Cal and Prof. Dr. James Gurney and the mass of fellow nerds here in the chat, I'm happy.
That's what you
all right.
Need. Really, that's it.
That T doesn't look like the red made it. What? That T doesn't look like the red made it all the way down. That T.
What in the world is that about?
I don't know what that means. Oh, on the coin.
Is this one of those cryptic things?
Oh, this is one of those, like, I found an error in the way it's being made. Let's have a look. Yeah, the T. Well, it's the nature of the T. It's sort of it kind of what's it called? It tapers. Right? It's a tapered T. It's a tapered T. Yeah. It's possible maybe on that coin there was not as good a. We'll see. On the back.
Is it?
I know I am a pillar to your happiness. It's true, Cal. It's true. Your misery is my happiness. It's true. Yeah, so Cal, I have to send Cal one as well, and then I can get a sense from the Cal how, you know, oh, hey, someone just put my name is Cal, bright and cheerful. I'm all rainbows and unicorns. What would anyone do without me? I am the hammer of justice, the Hewlett conscience, our truth speaker, and our little stormy cloud in the chat. Hugs! I have to do it every time.
I thought you were doing a soliloquy.
I have to do it every time. I have to do it.
I thought it was off the top of your head. And I was
no, I'm not that good. I'm just reading. I'm reading the announcement. Hey, wait a second. Ordered it and it said small package international air 1169. Well, that's not bad for a small package international air.
That's real money. That's because it's in real money now.
Oh, and then Captain Catherine's being charged $7. That's not bad either. And Gopher Fluffernut 7. I see. Mine was $7.90. What do you mean only? Doesn't that feel like okay? No,
it's fine.
I am here to. At each one of those will have a. Oh my God, I'm gonna have work to do, aren't I?
Do each of those coins come with a genuine David Hewlett penny pincher mark?
Each one of those. Oh my God, I'm gonna have to ship all these out. I've just given myself work. Well, no, it's work. There you go.
See?
What business you in, kid? I'm in coins, kid. That's what I'm in.
International trade. Just leave it at that. International trade.
That's it.
All above board.
I'm in international trade. I'm going to Russia now to do some deals. Okay. You know what? I gotta go. I have no idea. I've been going for so freaking long. It's quarter after. I've spent 2.25 hours babbling.
Wait, it's 2:52 here. What's it? 4:52.
Yeah, it's almost 4:52. I can probably hang on till 5. All right. So if you post this also on Twitter, those adult Stargate kids will be happy to buy them too. Oh,
he's right. They're right.
All right. I'll do the social media thing. Maybe I should do a TikTok video about it.
Oh, is that night picture of you I have? Is that like under wraps, or is that something that can be?
Which picture?
As long as you with a coquettish little grin in a night outfit. With a sword.
Yeah, I wasn't supposed to post. I posted one of them, but luckily it was in like a montage, so no one's. Yeah, so I'm not supposed to post them apparently. I just got a message saying I'm not supposed to post them. So, are you in trouble? But did you post them?
What if they aren't associated with like what you're doing? You know, not even a montage, just a one. Yeah. No. Mine was. I posted it already in a montage. And then I got a message. I got a message from production saying, "Can we please not post anything?" Well, they didn't say it specifically to me. I think they might have been specifically speaking to me, but they did it in a general way. They said maybe don't do that. What's funny is that's actually different than the outfit I ended up wearing for it. Yeah, there was a. Well, later I'll tell you about it. But there was there was a wardrobe malfunction. Each coin will have genuine D. Hewlett DNA. That's a good point. You can make your own bouquet. That is true. I don't know if you saw how I described it. Did I show you how I described it? Let me see if I... No.
It says here, it's a genius Stargate-inspired design by a Stargate genius. It says, Stargate's David Hewlett is inspiring the next generation of brilliant minds with his science, technology, engineering, and math community. A genius designed by a Stargate genius, not only are these custom made of real coin metal, they look and feel brilliant, and they help make learning happen. Each coin comes with a letter of authenticity hand-signed by the Stargate genius artist designer, David Hewlett. Limit of 2 each, but if you're that crazy eager, this is what I just add the code TOONY, and I will cover the shipping when you buy 2. That is the worst advertisement ever. But I did some very sexy photos of it. I tried to do a slow-mo of it spinning, because I thought that'd be kind of sexy.
Yeah. Do you have like a lazy Susan kind of?
Yeah,
you flipped it.
I flipped it, and then I shot it in slow-mo. It looked kind of cool, but it was kind of hard to... It was kind of flickery, too, so I was like, I'm working on that. I'm working on some sexy-looking things.
Wait, did you do that thing where you set it on the table, and you put one finger on it, and then you flick it with your middle finger of your other hand?
Yeah, you'd break your finger. It's huge. Coin,
come on.
That coin will snap your little finger like a twiglet. Like a twiglet. The pain is immense. It hurts just thinking about it.
I
just flip it. I just flick it. just go.
No.
Just go. I go like this.
Wait.
Like
Like
that.
what?
That's
No,
I just
you know what I
spin
mean?
it
Like, so
like
it
that.
spins forever and
Yeah.
ever and ever and
That's
ever.
the idea. It doesn't though. It goes. Woo, 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 woo.
Well,
It's
it
kind of.
doesn't because you're doing it wrong. You gotta
Sounds-
click it.
Well, I'm not in Inception. It's gonna stop at some point. We have to do the Inception coin. Look, there's all so many coins we could do. I want to do a whole series of coins. You know, I also started playing with Redbubble the other day because my friend keeps buying all these cool.
I never heard of that.
Have you never heard of?
Now.
Well, Redbubble is like this. My friend keeps buying all these crazy cool T-shirts, like from oh, it's the logo from the Nostradamus from
Nostradamus.
It's not Nostradamus, isn't it? Wasn't it Nostromos?
I don't know.
Something like that, from Alien, or it's the company from Buckaroo Banzai and it's Yo-Yo Dine. It's got all these cool,
cool.
coolest stuff. And I thought, you know what this place needs? It needs livening up a bit. It needs a few, McKay inspired or TechBandits inspired T-shirts.
Hell yeah!
I have no idea how that works. So I've been playing that. That was even more complicated than freaking Shopify. So
Do we have any did Rodney have any relatives that were rarely mentioned or?
My sister. I mentioned her. I mentioned her as little as possible.
Right, so Rodney could say, "I'm with Stupid" and have a be your sister.
Well, someone's already done a bunch of these "I'm with Genius" T-shirts, and they look fine to me. So I don't want to step on some poor person's little cottage industry. So what I did was I did a bucket hat with an arrow that points down and just says "I'm with Genius."
Okay.
I don't think it'd be good like the hat that just says, like a bucket hat that just says "I'm with Genius" with an arrow. Oh, that was cute. But
is a bucket hat like Gilligan's hat?
Yeah. So I have to have but I have to. It won't let me go live until I've got 5 designs, and you know me and decision making. So it takes a little while for me to figure it out. I think I've got 3 so far. I got 2 more I got to do, and then I'm ready to rock and roll. I kind of want to do one of those. If we start doing the Magic the Gathering streams again, then we should do a T-shirt. I love that. I love that one we did of the Magic the Gathering one.
I love what you did with that.
Wasn't that great? I'm a genius. It's true. I just feel like that's a T-shirt I could see as well. Well, how do we? I haven't played Magic the Gathering in ages. I'd have to get back into it a bit. What do we do? Is there a different angle we could? Can we? Oh, I know what I could do. Okay, if you've got time, Lance.
Yeah.
Look into crap. What was it called? Peasant or something? Not peasant. What's the version where you just use cheap cards?
Say what?
There's a terminology, but it's a type of play. Oh my God, I really am losing my brain. I mean, I've lost my mind since.
Now I'm only thinking of you call it. No, what?
No, it's called something. It's called I want to say it's called peasants mode or something, but it's not. It's called paupers. You use pauper decks. Pauper decks.
Oh.
And they're just cheap cards, not the expensive ones. You're playing for cheap for the love of the game. For the love of the game, my friend. It's just a wee love of the game. I'm just wondering if there's a way of doing pauper mode on the online version, right?
It would still cost. I got a thing that would cost us money, but not as much.
I don't mind spending some money, and I don't want them to give us cards. Well, I'd love them to give us cards for free. I don't need to be given cards for free. I'm happy to pay for a good game. I'm not happy to pay for these shitty cards that they've jacked up in price to some ridiculous amount. Next thing you know, they'll be charging $50 for a coin and asking me to pay for shipping.
Right.
Why is that window moving? Any reason why?
Surely they don't have the gall.
What am I leaning on? What am I leaning on that's made that move? How weird is that? There's like something. It's like I'm sorry. Oh, you know what it is? It's my mail scale. I was weighing the mail. Here's a trick for you. Don't
wait. So that
weigh.
Actually measures how male you are. That's neat.
Yeah, I'm very male. It turns out.
37%.
That is the worst joke. And I love it. It's. So I've discovered that if you put it on a soft surface and weigh things, they weigh a lot less. So I'm going to see if the people at the post office will put it under a pillow, because it'd be a lot cheaper for me to ship. Anyway, I'm very eager to see how Shopify works out, and I thank everybody for being so freaking supportive. It's ridiculous, and I feel very, very fortunate. All right, I got to get out of here.
Sales? Or you can't say?
Oh, I don't know. Let's find out. Do you want to find out?
How can we look?
I don't know. I'm gonna look right now.
Probably
where,
your email.
where am I looking? Oh, maybe my email. It's true. They might email me and say, "Hey, you've got mail." Like your inbox. Is it? Is it
Next week, everybody? I'll tell you about that time I was held hostage. Yeah, it'll be great. Kidnapped, held hostage.
What's this?
As a young child, 8 years old.
Oh, yeah. I sold one.
You sold one?
I've sold one.
Wait, you had to sell more. Everybody else was saying, "Oh, well, they only charged me 7, and then they charged me."
Well, I got the only one that's come through to me is from it's Jonathan LH. Jonathan MLH. Thank you very much.
Nice.
God, that Jonathan guy.
Everybody else bought one.
He's crazy supportive. I only see one here. Oh, there's more. Oh, there's a bunch of them. One.
Are you gonna have to take off your socks so you can count?
Just 3 of them. Shut up. You're not welcome here. There's 3 of them already. I've sold 3 already. 4.
That's nice.
Holy cow. Oh, man, we're gonna run out of these things.
Go rub that in Baz's face. Say, trying to make more than the old man, huh? Look at this. Look at this.
Oh my God.
Do that.
What are we gonna do? I've only got I think I put 175. I think I said I'd save 25 for myself, and I've given away a bunch already, so I've got 175 available.
Well, remember, you should save some for like mail loss or dissatisfied customer.
Yeah. Well, that's you.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Already I can see the complaint. See, he's already panicking. Shut up. Why is everyone so amused by the fact that I'm terrified that get to work, man. Those people need their coins. I know. I got to go to the mailbox and figure out how to get them mailed off now. It's kind of exciting, though. It's kind of like having a real store. It's like having a store.
You did a thing.
We got to do a Gimpy G coin. Got to do a Gimpy G coin to kit out your new wagon, the Gimpy G wagon.
True. Oh, that would be neat though. But like right on the front of the where a Chrysler thing would go or whatever.
You need like one of those kit things at the front that just goes doodaloo doodaloo doodaloo. Do you think?
Yeah.
You know what? I could probably do that with an Arduino. Arduino and resin. I could probably do that. That might be not beyond.
Involved. He's been doing that for his stream.
I know. He's been playing a bunch of that stuff. It's true. That is true. But you could place it in. You could sort of put it in epoxy to keep it dry. Run a couple of cables to the. I'm sure it'd be easy to pull a bit of juice off the battery. And what's the worst that can happen? You get stranded in the middle of nowhere because Hewlett tried to build a freaking kit, like a kit talking car. You know, if you go to techbandits.org and click the menu and the shop button, you could buy. What? Can you?
Is that true?
Did I do that? I don't know. Let's go. Let's try. I'm going to go to TechBandits.
Tortuous Colon's been doing things behind your back.
I think it's possible. I think I may have been cloned while I was under. They may have taken a biopsy and cloned it. All right. There's my website. Hello, website. And I'm going to go to my website. I'm going to click. Oh, I have a shop. Oh, my God.
Wow.
Dude.
Percocet's a magic drug.
No, I think I may have done this while I was still kind of spacey.
Yeah, kind of like, woo.
I know that I did the description. I do not remember adding this to the website. Oh, God, what if I bought a house in another part of the world and I don't even know about it? They should never have let me have my phone while I was in there.
What if Drug David is like the responsible?
Yeah. What if Drug David is way smarter than I could ever be? Oh my God. Guys, get a colonoscopy and you'll get a free shop with every colonoscopy. Holy mother. That's weird. I literally don't remember adding that to the website. That's kind of terrifying.
This is killing me. This is the kind of person, David. Like other people get drunk or drugged up. They wake up in an alley with a Barbie doll.
I create Shopify shops and code the website. That is true. That is some serious nerd. That is serious nerd. Oh man, I got so wasted. I created an e-commerce site. Wow.
I was so wasted. I started an IPO.
Oh my God. Jesus. Okay. Well,
Oh,
I guess we should do our next meeting at my next colonoscopy. After my next colonoscopy, we'll talk escape rooms more.
not to move these things up.
Yeah, yeah. Did you get my email? I sent you an email. I copied you in on a whole chat with Museum.
Maybe so. I'll have to check.
Okay, all right, yeah, yeah. Check your email because I sent a whole because I've been going back and forth with the museum folks, and I wanted to make sure you guys knew what was going on. So I blind carbon copied you in. I didn't include you in the email thing
That's
because
okay.
I was just like, it's just going to get complicated if I start having to introduce people as well as all this stuff. So, anyways, that was the funniest thing ever. Apparently, I'm so glad.
It's so good.
I pimped the coin
good.
on Stargate Reddit. What? You sold it already? Nixie Geeks already resold them.
They're flipping your coins, dude.
Oh no, pimped it. I think she. Do you mean like you promoted it?
She promoted it, yeah.
Nixie Geek, pets, David. Bless you, honey.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Nice.
I've become a figure of sympathy. Oh, it's that old guy from Stargate. He doesn't know where he is again. You know what I did?
Fuzzy.
So yesterday I had to go to Shoppers to pick up some medication stuff. Not for my bottom, but for other things. And and one of them was for Jane. And I got to Shoppers, and I'm standing in Shoppers, and I called Jane, and I said, Jane, I'm in Shoppers. This is the drug mart place. And I don't know why I'm here. I was like, this is why they get people to walk you home, right? So you don't do stupid things afterwards. Like code an e-commerce site.
Did you call Shoppers and see if you arranged their shelves or maybe did some accounting?
I created a website for them where they could sell medication much more efficiently than they could before. All right, I got to get out of here. Apparently, Nixie Geek says it's too much information. What? That I called my wife to say where am I and why am I standing in a pharmacy and who am I? Honey, am I famous? People keep saying things to me. All right. Apparently this is hilarious. Well, it's got to stop. That's it. We're out of here.
Admit that's hilarious.
That's freaking terrifying. I literally don't remember doing that. I'd be amazed if anyone gets a coin ever. Like, I literally don't remember adding a shop to my website.
I think Drugs David is a very responsible person. And we'll make sure everything gets where it needs to go.
Maybe that's it. Maybe it's uninhibited and fully focused. First stream I catch for months and it's over. Oh, I'm sorry, Johnny Ray Wednesday. You missed all the fun. It's true.
Oh,
it's
it
true.
was so good.
You've really, really missed out. Oh, that part with the, oh my God, that was great. Or remember that? Oh, it was amazing. Oh, Johnny Ray Wednesday. I'm not sure you missed much.
But yeah,
You're lucky, Johnny. You're lucky, Johnny Ray. You missed the whole discussion about my tortuous colon. All right. If anyone wants to know more news, they need to go over to techbandits.org. They need to sign up for my email of awesomeness because that is really how I am communicating with the world now. I put out the odd thing on social media, but honestly, it just drags me down, that stuff. So I'm reading newsletters, I'm finding cool tech stuff, and I'm ranting and raving about stuff I like and don't like, and I'm being mocked for it by my friend Lance Carr, MPG, and James R. Gurney, for that matter.
I do what I can.
It's true, he does. It's true. Lance, when are you streaming again? When are you going to start getting back on the old streamer box?
I absolutely have to do it because I'm going on with Charlie.
Oh my God, dude! Yeah, absolutely. When do you do that? When are you talking to? Sorry, Charlie. For those of you who don't know, Moist Critical, just one of the largest
Moist Critical or Penguin ever. Zero, depending upon
ever. Like he's like up there. He's like
13.1 million subscribers.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. You need a coin, buddy. You gotta sell some coins. Maybe I'll get wasted tonight and make you I'll make you a web commerce site. Nixie Geek adores the email of awesomeness. Aw, thank you. I had the best compliment from the email of awesomeness when my wife was at dinner and said, I read somewhere about this amazing thing. And I was like, Jane, I wrote that. You're telling me a story that I wrote. Isn't that wild?
That's so cool.
It was sad how disappointed she looked when she found out it was me. But, it was, other than that. Get wasted and do e-commerce.
There
you go. I'm going to go anesthetize myself and then e-commerceize myself.
Wait, write that down. That's got to be a shirt.
I think it might have to be. Yeah.
Get wasted and
do e-commerce. That's it. It's like was it move fast and break things? It's like I'm like be unconscious, make things. Yeah, that happens with me and husband. He tells me stories I told him. Yeah, that's what happens. We start telling each other our own stories. It's true. All right, everyone.
Okay.
I will say, Fair and Adieu, I will say, be safe, be kind, be brilliant, even if you don't know you're being brilliant. Like when you're kind of unconscious, or you're in a twilight sleep thanks to anesthetics. Do the tests, go to your doctor, do the scopes if you must, because it's apparently this colorectal thing is it is like preventable. Apparently preventable. Like you just gotta go get the scopes. So go and do that. I'm gonna put a great video that I saw that Ryan Reynolds did about this and in my email of awesomeness. All right. Be safe, be kind, be brilliant. Till we geek again, I will say cheerio, adieu, and huzzah!
Huzzah!
I don't know why I have to.
Your microphone's gating.
What is it? Well, because it can't.
Yeah.
It can't take the awesomeness that is me. That's why.
I guess.
I guess so. I really did miss a lot. Oh, I'm sorry, Johnny. Well, we'll be back soon, I'm sure. Look, Lance and I are already talking about when we can go and do Magic the Gathering now, so we're gonna figure that out. Yeah. All right, that's awesome. You're awesome. Thank you, everyone. Huge thanks to Cal, obviously, for just being, the grumpy one for me, and to James R. Gurney for being the bastion of truth and valid research and science, and Lance for just being the jerk that he always is. So.
Jerk.
All right.
Jerk.
Later.
Shitster.
Bye.